The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Yes, sir. Speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. It is Wednesday, August 4th, 2021, years after zero. Massive show today. Phil Mickelson's here. Yeah! That's right. We have a conversation with Phil Mickelson that'll be running here in about 7 minutes. I think you should be pumped up about it here on SiriusXM, Channel 82, Mad Dog Sports Radio, and obviously YouTube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. At Boston Connor and Ty Schmidt are here. The boys are in the back. The Hammer Down boys are going to work so we can continue to rake in FanDuel's money. YouTube.com/Hammer Down. 15 minutes after this show ends every single day. Monday, well, not every day. All right? Not Saturday and Sunday.
No, that's right.
Hazing and Barn when it comes Saturday and Sunday.
Hey, Fridays I got weekend picks.
Yeah, Friday. By the way, you're going to have those roll over into the weekend. Monday through Friday, though, 15 minutes after this show ends, COVID Cowboy Tone Diggs, Bubba Gumpino from Canada, Gumpy, and Mitt take to the airwaves and give us their best bets that are in the FanDuel Sportsbook. Basically deep in the archives, dude. They've been making a lot of money for us. Going into yesterday's gambling slate, Gumpy was 14-3 in his last 17 bets that he was giving out publicly. These aren't private bets.
No.
These are public bets that he's giving out for everybody. 14-3, and then I think last night he won another 4-0 or something like that.
Good Lord.
He's on fire
I think
now.
he's 18-3. YouTube.com/Hammer Down. 15 minutes after the show. If you're not watching, you hate money. Okay, that is
Simple
basically
as that.
what it has gone to at this point. Speaking of hating money, I got a lot of questions about what's going on with my money in the Colts here.
Oh, what do you mean?
As soon as Carson walked into this studio right here with his big ass, all right, and I saw how big he was. I saw how, and Frank talked about this yesterday. Frank Reich, head coach of the Indianapolis Colts, stopped by the show yesterday to tell us a lot of things, probably too many things if you're a Colts front office member, but maybe that is him being nice to me and the media saying, hey, this is exactly where we're at. Colts fans are potentially panicking. But whenever he mentioned Carson Wentz's aura and energy whenever he walks into a room, that was real whenever he walked in
For
here.
sure.
Could feel it. Could actually feel it. Changed my entire stance on everything. I put a futures bet on the Indianapolis Colts to win the Super Bowl. I put a futures bet on Carson Wentz to win the MVP just immediately upon. Not a lot of money, okay? Not an intense, not 5-10 years. All right. But I put a little bit of money on. I was like, these odds, I think it was like plus 2,500 at one point, and like these other things. I'm like, I'm going to bet on these. Then as things continue to roll out with Carson shooting hoops, and the team coming together, bonding, having a great time, the team talking to Frank Reich and the coaches and Chris Ballard to get things ready for them to get back in the building before the NFL and the NFLPA could get. I was like, all right, here we go. This team is ready to go. My money looks safe. Then obviously, there's an ankle injury to Darius Leonard coming into camp, allegedly. Yeah. And Carson Wentz has a high school injury that kind of rears its little head back into this entire thing, has to get surgery on the third day of training camp after looking very good. And then now Quentin Nelson, same exact injury, same exact surgery. It's a developmental anomaly that this man was built with an extra bone in his foot that chipped off. Now he needs surgery. So I'm looking around, all right, and I'm starting to realize, like, maybe everything's falling apart. Maybe the Colts are fucked. Maybe the Colts are dead. And then every single day there comes a new piece of information that makes me worry about my money. Now it's Philip Rivers talking to the LA Times farmer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, is that one farmer he's talking to? A collection of farmers? I'm not 100% sure, but via the @LA Times farmer, Phil Rivers said, I'm not closing the door on a comeback yet to the NFL.
Wow.
I'm focused on coaching, but I could come back. Is he saying that because of what happened to Carson Wentz? You had Nick Foles cutting a promo just 2 days ago to get back into Indianapolis, basically. And after a conversation with Frank Reich yesterday, it is very comforting that it sounds like they're looking for Carson to be back in a few weeks, probably much more closer to 5 than a 12-week window.
Right.
Now with Quentin, we have no idea, but it sounds like Carson's back earlier than everybody else is expecting. Jacob Eason, Sam Ellinger, whoever it's going to be, will man the team there for a couple weeks, and then Carson will come back. That's what it felt like. With Quentin Nelson, though, I was a little bit worried, because that's a big body.
Yeah,
yeah.
should be.
And a foot injury is a big problem for a big body. But then I started thinking to myself, Quentin Nelson, best guard in the history of the fucking game, one of the toughest guys of all time. He'll be back, right? And then he went to Instagram and he said, listen up. I had 3 surgeries. Okay, this offseason. 3rd surgery offseason in the books. No time for pity. Fuck that. Truth is, I'm thankful for the early part of the timetable. Says 5 weeks. That gives me 5 weeks to do everything I can physically and mentally to be ready to go to week 1 to smash these goals. DYJ, do your job.
Hell yeah.
NMW, no matter what. Quentin Nelson, Wreck-It Ralph, fucking Earl Grey.
Yeah.
He's going to be back. Carson's going to be back. Darius is going to be back. Braden Smith just got a deal. Darius is going to get a deal. The Colts are all the way back, baby. Phillip Rivers still fucking retired. Let's not worry about a damn thing. It's a great day to be an Indianapolis Colts. Indianapolis Colts fan.
Is it, though? Is it?
Edgerrin James going into the Hall of Fame this weekend.
True.
All right? From gold teeth to gold jacket.
Yeah.
I've been following the entire series on the internet. Peyton Manning's going in. Now, a lot of Broncos people going as well. So it's going to be a little bit split. But Jim Irsay saying, hey, whatever party you want, let's go ahead and do that thing. It's a great time to be an Indianapolis Colt. Is it not? That's not what... What do you guys don't think so?
It just seems like, you are very good at being positive and spinning everything to make it seem like, you're doing okay. But I know that you are struggling with how the Colts are not going to get over 8.5 wins this year. I am so sorry for you.
Wreck-It Ralph is superhuman.
Absolutely.
Okay? I didn't know he had 1 surgery this offseason. What? I didn't know he had 2 surgeries this offseason.
What?
Yeah, I didn't know he had 3 surgeries this offseason. Well, I guess the foot one becomes this entire thing. I have no idea what the surgery is on, and we didn't hear about it. For that, I feel good. That means nobody was worried about a damn thing about him getting back. And now it's just the foot that he has to worry about. That's a lot of rehab. That is a lot of time spent, learning how to teach or teaching whatever part of your body how to do its very elementary level of job again with, scar tissue not being allowed to be formed where the scars are. So there's a metal rod that they rake against it on top of your skin that hurts so bad. And the early mornings and no off season, all of that. We heard nothing. So the miserable Quentin Nelson, that has had to go through 3 rehabs. You guys thought he was good before. Wait till you fucking see what he is this year. Carson Wentz, that guy has had a bone bouncing around in his foot. Almost won an MVP with that. Guess what? He's fucking all the way back. We're taking a little vacation in the middle of training camp while you guys do all your working. All right? Don't you worry about it. The Colts are all the way back. Don't have any stresses at all.
It's just tough because, you look at the worst possible way to start the season.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, boy, we are looking right at it. Our 3 top dogs are, coming off surgeries. We don't know when we're going to get them back. New team for Carson, valuable reps he's missing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying they can't win 9 games.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's all we need them to at this point because we did hammer over 8.5.
I'm not saying they can't win 9 games, but boy, what a tough start to the season. A lot of excitement coming in.
All right. A lot of excitement.
Yeah.
Hey, it came quick, too. It was like me. It was the Oculus.
Yeah.
It was a 3-piece real quick. Pow, pang, and then, by the way, same one. Pang.
Boom.
Yeah.
Knockout.
It was Darius coming in, little, whoa, what? I didn't know this guy.
What the hell?
Yeah, it's a fucking whole thing. And then it was like, Carson, pang, out of nowhere. Just saw a video of him throwing the ball 70 yards of Pythagorean theorem.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like, all right, that can't get much worse. And then all of a sudden that same punch, just the same exact fucking swing.
Weren't ready.
Said, hey, who's the other guy that's really good on this team? Oh, fucking Quentin Nelson. Yeah. All right, same one, fucking out. All right, not a big deal. We'll get back to it. There's a lot of other football conversations, too. Up there in New England, stuff's happening. Over there in Green Bay, stuff is happening. Obviously, in Pittsburgh, in Dallas, things are happening because we got NFL football tomorrow night.
Yes!
We have a spread on that game. We have odds on that game. We have bets for that game. The NFL is 1 day away from putting a product on a field in Canton, Ohio, as we celebrate the legends of the past. Speaking of legends of the past and of the current and probably forever, we got a chance to catch up with one yesterday. It was out of the window of the show, so we're airing it now. Ladies and gentlemen, Lefty stopped by for a fucking brilliant convo. I'm so thankful for it. I hope you enjoyed as well. Be a friend, tell a friend. We'll see you on the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is a man whose name is synonymous with the sport of golf. For more than 25 years, he's been in the top 50 ranking in golfing. He's the current PGA champion, has made, and this number is public, so it's not us pocket watching it all, $95 million in the PGA. Hitting bombs and hellacious seeds, ladies and gentlemen, the lefty Phil Mickelson.
Thank you.
Woo! How are you, man?
I'm great, man. Thanks for having me on your show. This is cool.
No, we are very lucky that you're here. We want to let you know, thank you so much for your time. We hope we don't make you dumber or worse at golf as we go through this conversation. Let's dive right into it. I just got off the course, Phil. All right, I had a couple birdies, had a couple pars, then I had like 3 to 4 triple bogeys. I watched the match, okay? I listened to you go through golf and teach me golf, and then the execution part, I just completely messed it up. What's going on, Phil? How do we get me to become good golfer? That's where I need to be at, Phil.
I don't really worry about the triple bogeys and double bogeys. I make them too, but I just try to make a lot of birdies, and that's what's fun. I would just recommend you play match play. That seems to be your thing, Pat.
Yes, that is exactly right. I actually won by 3 holes, so you and I are already on the same page. Looks like we're already dancing. Whenever you talk about the sport of golf, your career has been so many incredible chapters. And I think how a lot of us got introduced to you is like, hey, there's this California dude who is going against Tiger, it seems like, every single week. Did you know that what you and Tiger were doing was going to be so good for golf in the long haul? Did you hate those times? Did you enjoy those times? Was that a tough time for you mentally whenever, you're going against the guy in the middle of his prime, but you were still a superstar in your own right?
So what was cool about that was he brought out the best of me because he forced me and everybody else to get better. And that type of challenge, that type of drive, he instilled in a lot of us. And I really enjoyed the fact that I had a chance to play against him. And granted, I probably would have won some more tournaments and possibly some other majors and so forth, but I might not have, because maybe I wouldn't have pushed myself as hard. I think as I look back, it identifies a couple of things, and that is, to be the greatest or to be the best at your sport, it has to be all encompassing. So you have to have the physical skill, you have to have the work ethic, obviously, but you also have to have the mental focus, the ability to be calm, and the ability to, kind of hyper focus on your task, as well as kind of the nutritional part, the eating part. And that's the part that I lacked. I didn't have the discipline in my eating that I had in my work ethic. As I look back, I wish I had done that differently. But because of Tiger, we as a tour have grown exponentially greater than I ever imagined, because he brought us from the back page of the USA Today, if anybody knows what that is, to the front page of the USA Today, and brought us on the front page of sports. And so that was really a big thing for the sport of golf. And now we're the first time in a little bit of a while, we're also having another boom because of COVID, and it being one of the few things that you can do safely.
Well, and also I think the match you have been a rock star. Absolutely. And this last one I got to watch, obviously, most recently, and I watched it back a little bit last night because there was a couple things you did during that thing that I found so fascinating. One of them was when you were speaking about the match, and I think this is a new chapter of your life, by the way. You're like one of the faces of golf, everybody's favorite. You're like Uncle Phil at this point. Rest in peace to Uncle Phil and Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, obviously. But you're like Uncle Phil to everybody. In the match, we're getting a chance to kind of learn a lot more about you. And I heard you say, and I think it was for one of your sponsors, so I don't want to say the wrong one, but you said the company has been a backer of the match since the beginning. Do you feel like real ownership over that? Because you are like the guy of that match, by the way. And I don't know if you realized that it felt like you felt it was getting a little slower, and you're like, all right, I'm going to start doing a little bit more talk. You are. Like, that is a big part of the match, is learning from Uncle Phil Mickelson in there. Is that something you know going in, or is that just how you naturally always are?
So the match actually was started by myself and a friend of mine, Brian Zerf, and we're half owners. So we kind of had this idea of it started a while ago, obviously, with the first one being myself and Tiger, and it has transformed into an opportunity to kind of bring athletes or other people who are the best at what they do, and let the public kind of see them in a more fun light, which is more socially acceptable on the golf course. Like, you can talk smack on the golf course and it's okay. If you do that off the course, it doesn't come across great. And so the match gives these players, like, look at Tom Brady. I mean, he's the greatest at what he does, but you get to see a fun side of him. You get to see a sense of humor, and you also get to see him humanized by the sport of golf. And so this has been a fun way to kind of showcase people's personalities. And for me personally, it's been good because by getting rid of all of the noise, let's say, okay, so we don't have fans so that we can have a lot more interaction. You get to hear the conversations between players and a lot of the little things that we say. And some of it's it can be funny and entertaining, or some of it could be insightful and give you a different look at how some players are looking at shots and analyzing stuff. I really enjoyed listening to Bryson talk because he comes at golf at such a different area or different way, different angle, that hearing what he has to say, it's actually helped me in a number of areas. I can't process and implement everything that he says, but I can take little tidbits that really help me. And so I think everybody can do that from all good players, is not learn everything or try to do everything that they say, but take little tidbits that can increase your game and performance.
Yeah, not just in golf, by the way, but in life, you should be trying to learn and be a sponge and see the greats in what you can apply to your own life. And I think the match has done that immensely. And talking about the whole mental side of the sport, you saying DeChambeau comes from an opposite side, I would like to get to at some point, because the mental toughness it takes to, that ball is so small.
Oh, man. Tiny.
It is so small. And then this thing's like smaller than a field hockey stick is so small.
Oh,
I don't know what they're doing. I was forced to watch that this weekend. This is smaller, though, than that. It makes no sense how you guys have success, prolonged success. And this is coming from somebody who had to punt a ball over and over again once or twice a quarter. The fact that you guys, mental capacity, we'll dive into that. But I want to talk about what you said about Tom Brady, because you were very complimentary of Tom Brady after the match about how he inspired you. And I think you mentioned this earlier about your diet, and whenever you were younger, you wish you would take advantage of it more. I think Tom Brady's that same person where he looks back at whenever he was younger and wishes he was implementing some of the avocado ice cream and stuff that he's doing there. But aside from just the diet from Tom, what is it to be learned whenever you're around him? Is it just like, okay, this guy's the most competitive human I've ever encountered? Or what all is it you think that you've enjoyed being around Tom so much about?
Seeing the way he keeps everything in balance and in check. So when he is playing football and studying film, he is fully present. His mind is cognizant of exactly what he's doing, and he's getting the most out of it. And then when he gets away from the field, the way he is able to re-engage with his wife and family and spend all of his time and focus and energy and be present with them. And then when he's out on the golf course, the way he can hang out, be present, be funny, and let go. But also it's the overall discipline, the overall balance that he has. And, we all think or wish that we had been a little bit more knowledgeable or insightful in areas throughout our career. But the fact is we just didn't have that knowledge. We just didn't have the information. It wasn't out there. So when Tiger came out in golf, he was the first one to really start pushing kind of workouts. I mean, we had Gary Player years ago, but he was the first one that really kind of everybody saw how working out could be an advantage and started doing that. And Tom Brady's really been the first one in the NFL that's, well, I shouldn't say that, Romanowski and the linebacker for Denver for years, where they're doing everything they can to recover and eat right and get their bodies to allow them to play at a later age. Like he has taken it to a next level, but the information that he has just wasn't around, 15, 20 years ago. So we're learning as we go. But the way he is able to be fully present in whatever he's doing is what I'm really getting out of it, and it's helped me in other areas of my life.
Phil, since the social media boom, all right, and I don't know how long or who was the one to tell you, like, hey, you need to buy in that you're Phil Mickelson, all right? And I don't know who had to have that conversation with you or not, but the bombs and seeds and the coffee and everything and the calves and the flexibility, it's almost like I feel bad that I didn't know what a Phil Mickelson was for all those years before the social media era. You've really taken to the new technology, the digital age, like a fish to water. Do you enjoy that? Do you do it yourself? Do you have a team? How has that thing come about? Because you are one of the best followers on the internet right now.
I appreciate you saying that. And I was scared to go on social media because I, first of all, have a very addictive personality. So I can go overboard and not keep it in balance. But when I first started, I had help, and it was frustrating for me because I wasn't able to get out little responses or little tidbits that I wanted to put out there. So I just have taken it over myself, and I try to keep it in balance. Every now and then I'll get a text from some guys on my team like, hey, what are you doing, man? Take that down. And I'm okay with that. I try to keep everything as positive as I can and as fun. And really, I'm just doing what I say and do on the golf course with my friends, and just kind of have, like, it's just coming out now because of social media. And I haven't been any different, but it's easier to So when we say things, how we say it changes the meaning entirely, right? So if we're out playing with your buddies, Pat, and you make a 30-footer and you start mouthing off, "That's how it's done, my man," like or "That's how it's done, my man."
Yeah.
Like one's in your face, intrusive, and the other is kind of funny based on your inflection. And so what social media has allowed me to do is present it in the right tone or light that it's meant, because sometimes it's not read the way that it was said.
Oh yeah, that is one of the biggest flaws of social media. Shout out to me right there, 2 times me. How you doing? Keep it moving. Did he just bail on us? He got kicked out of the Zoom.
Okay.
We don't do Zoom.
We don't do Zoom. Zoom's not the best, but
Phil fucking Mickelson.
Phil fucking Mickelson.
Yeah, that's right.
You do what you got to do for Phil Mickelson. I want to get into. I want to get into his brain a little bit. Yeah.
See what's going on.
Yeah. I want to dive into there. Mm-hmm. I really want.
What's in the works?
So we got cut off for a second, but I just thought maybe you could only take me in doses. Which most people do, and I totally get it.
Hey, that happens to me all the time too, Phil. I thought you were doing that on the opposite end. So that was not the case. Classic technology, but I do enjoy that you've taken over your social media, and the way you do things and say things is fantastic. Listening to you talk, though, maybe it's just golf in general, but it seems like you're a very deep thinker. Have you always been this way? Are you well studied? Do you like books, or is golf just kind of captivated your entire life and you just love the sport so much you're all the way in there?
So when I get interested in something, I kind of dive all in. Like I almost overboard, and it's to a fault. So I get back to that balance thing. And so, but I try to learn everything I can to be as knowledgeable as I can in a particular area of interest. And so so I feel like I have a reasonable amount of knowledge in certain areas and absolutely no knowledge in other areas. And I would prefer to ask questions, because I always feel like when you're asking questions, you're learning something new. When you're talking, you're just reiterating what you already know. I like being much more inquisitive, but it just depends what we're talking about. That kind of changes the narrative.
Okay, so when you're working, it seems like you dive all in. You've said it a couple of times. Whenever you're working on golf, do you still have the same routine that you had whenever you were younger now, or is it much different? And how often do you just go down there and just hit Phil Mickelson flop shots all day? Because every time I golf and I turn, like, let's say I have a 60 degree, not a big deal. It's about 70 yards. I found out this morning on hole 7, by the way. That would have been nice to know. Hole 1 would have been a much little bit better piece of information to have in my whole golf game. But anytime you turn one sideways and you flatten it, you're like, oh, watch this. I'm going to do like Phil Mickelson does. And then you just go out there. Normally, you either blade it, hit it straight up in the air to the right, or you somehow get lucky and it goes, and everybody's like, oh, my God.
Incredible shot.
Phil Mickelson. Wow. That's what that has kind of become, and I remember you hit the one over your head that one time. That was a mind blower from me. Is the short game something you've always just been good at, or are you good at it because that's all you work like so much on it at all times?
When I was a kid, my dad had a little chipping area in our backyard and putting green. And so I would just go out there and hit balls because I couldn't really go to the golf course. And all I did was shots inside 30 yards. And it got very monotonous to hit the same shot over and over. So I'd go behind the avocado tree. I'd go back around the other trees and bushes and rough and so forth. And so I would get creative as a kid hitting those shots. And you kind of learn a couple of things. But what I would say, Pat, is that there's really only one way to chip effectively, because you're coming in with no coverage on the ball. You're coming in with so much loft that the leading edge is coming in first. So you have to have your weight forward. That's it. You have to have your weight forward and drive the club down into the ground. And most people, when they do that, their hands either come back or their weight comes back and the leading edge comes up and blades it. Now, you can kind of flip your hands a little bit if you have a good lie. Like if the ball's sitting in the first cut or it's sitting up, but that technique will not work all the time. And so that's why I prefer and believe that the technique where you have your weight forward, your hands forward, and you drive the club down to the ground will be consistent every time. So lay that club flat, move that ball off your left toe, get that ball off your front left. There you go. And open that face flat and just drive the club down into the ground. The ball will pop up like a gem.
I think I'm a scratch golfer.
Let's go!
I think it makes sense, by the way, that your childhood was spent within 30 yards of a green. My childhood was spent kicking a soccer ball off the side of a house. Worked out for me. It's worked out for you much better. So I think my kid potentially is going to do that. I see the Wanamaker Trophy. I see better than ever. It really does feel like you are playing your best golf you have ever played. Is that? I heard Drew Brees say this one time, and it was, I think, last year, maybe the year before. And he said, as you get older in the sport of football, your brain gets so much better. You're just hoping your body can hang on so you can take advantage of all your knowledge. Is that how you feel in golf? Are you going to be able to do this till you're 70, you think? Or are you going to be able to play at this high level with where your body is with with the coffee and no jitters, no crash with the coffee?
That's right.
Also, there. That's good coffee. Hey, that coffee's good coffee. But with your brain and with the way golf works, there's no end in sight. You're playing the best you've ever played, right? Am I wrong in thinking that or no?
No, I agree. And I've learned a lot over these last 10 years about nutrition and about my body because of something that happened to me when I was 40 in 2010 when I got an autoimmune disease, psoriatic arthritis, and I wanted to get rid of it. I had to go on a very strong drug, a TNF inhibitor, and I went to a health practitioner. I said, how can I help myself and be accountable for my own health? And he did a bunch of tests, and he found out that my immune system, my T1 and T2 cells, as he referred to it, were out of balance, and that I had way too much TH1. I needed more TH2. He said, drink coffee all day and take grapeseed extract, resveratrol, and green tea extract. So I do. I haven't not been sick a day in 11 years. I'm off all meds. I don't have arthritis anymore. There's no reason why I could not be performing at a high level for many, many years, as long as my drive and my interest is up. But I love golf, and I'm passionate about golf, and I play it not because of any extrinsic rewards, but because of the intrinsic rewards, because of the love and passion and enjoyment that I get out of it, as well as the competition. So there's no reason why I should not be able to play at a high level for a long period of time. My wife is one of the most charismatic, dynamic individuals I've ever met. And she was able to convince an artist, Ed Ruscha, to make, who's very famous for word art, to make this picture painting for my 50th birthday, Better Than Ever. And it refers to a lot of areas in my life. I want to be better than ever in our relationship. I want to be better than ever in my career. I want to be better than ever in all parts of my life. And it was a very inspiring thing. And that's why actually I have it here. I look at it every day, and it's a very motivating piece for me. And I love how art can instill this emotion. It brings out inspiration for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sometimes getting a visual reminder, by the way, is something that is beautiful. Congrats to you and your wife on an incredible run, and also the motivation here to make you the best you possible. I think it's fascinating with professional athletes. Really good, really good, really good. Get to a point where business gets involved. You kind of get jaded, but you're still really good. Then you kind of see the 18th hole. You know what I mean? And I think you start to enjoy it more. And that's in all sports. That's not just in golf. You see it in football. You'll see one of our greats, like even Tom, I think he's enjoying it now more than ever because he knows that it's potentially over at some point. You don't take the little practices for granted anymore. You enjoy the finer things. It's nice to know that you're there completely and fully. And it seems like, hey, how far are we hitting the ball right now? How far are we hitting the ball right now if we had to? Just to uncork a bomb or a... How far we got it right now if you had to?
Farther than my opponent.
Hell yeah!
Woo! I heard you keeping track with DeChambeau in the match show. I heard you keeping track there a couple of times. My last question before the boys have it, and I can't thank you enough for your time. I know you're very busy. You got another couple tournaments to win within the next probably month or so. When you hear DeChambeau talk about the way he was talking, and there was a lot of numbers involved. Oh, we got to go 7 to 8 to 9 to 10 to this and that whole thing. And I know there's a different way of looking at it for you guys, I would assume, but You alluded to it earlier. DeChambeau is just a completely different animal when it comes to golf, or there have been people that act the way he does. He's just ramping it up a complete different level. And then whenever you're looking at shots, is there any thinking, or is it just kind of like, oh, we're this far out, I got to do, no thinking. I've heard you, the grass is a little moist. It's 7 a.m. Yeah. It's growing towards us. The sun's this way, so I'm going to punch it in there. Then it's going to slow down a little bit. Is that every shot you're having full thoughts like that? And why is DeChambeau so much different than the way you operate?
So I'll give you a little example of how we do the same thing, but in a different way. His is more scientific and technology based, and I'm doing the same thing, or have been for years. So, for instance, lag putting. When we get on fast greens, what I would do and have done for 20 years with the help of Dave Pells was build a reference stroke for 40 feet, 50 feet, 60 feet. So I know uphill and downhill. So I know if I take it back this far and I accelerate as fast as I can, I know this putt's going to go 50 feet, okay? And I would have to reset that each week based on the green speeds. But Augusta, you can't tell or feel the difference between 50 feet and 55 feet downhill. It is so minute. But if you have a reference point that you know is 50 feet and you take it back there and you accelerate and it goes 50 feet every time, well, that's a reference point. Okay, so that's what I do. What Bryson does is he takes it back to certain points and he reads from the little portable launch monitor, the quad that he uses, the ball speed, how fast the ball comes off the face. So he knows that if he takes the putter back to this point and accelerates as fast as he can, the ball will come off at 4 miles an hour, 6 miles an hour, 8 miles an hour. And he knows mathematically that downhill on a green that stimps at 13, that putt's going to roll out 55 feet. And uphill into a stimped green at 13 and a half, that ball is going to roll 42 feet. Like, he has the math on that. And so he's doing the same thing, but in a much more scientific way. I did not have that technology when I was practicing, so I had to do it a little bit different way to build that reference. So now when we go out on the golf course and we're hitting shots, he's doing the same thing, reading the lies, and what he's doing is identifying why the ball is coming up short or shorter than normal based on different lies. So you talk about water if there's water, okay, water actually increases the spin. So I didn't know this until I didn't know why. Like, I knew it, and I knew that it spun more. I just didn't know why. And he was the one that explained it to me. Well, imagine the dimples as suction. And when you get water in there, it creates a greater suction and a better grip on the surface area. So with a 4-iron, a 5-iron, a 6-iron, you're going to get another 1,000, 1,500 RPMs of spin, which is going to make the ball go a lot shorter. However, there's a point of deflection. So when you start getting too much loft, it will cause slippage where the ball will slide up the face and be kind of like a jumper.
See, Phil, isn't this so much thinking to be had while you guys are trying to do something that is, I mean, a ball trying to fit on this thing is, how do you guys not, and that's, the yips are a real thing, I guess, but how do you get out of your own brain whenever you have that much going on? And I said this about DeChambeau, and I'm just looking at it as a punter, kicker, who also has to battle, in between the ears, basically, before everything. Once one of those things unravels, isn't there a chance that can continue to go? And it is the in-between the ears thing, that's the entire game of golf, is it not?
So yes, and you've heard many people say it's about the process. Enjoy the process. You have to. There was an incredible Zen master, Awa Kenzo. He was the one of the book, Zen and the Art of Archery. Okay, was written by this guy Harrigal, who wanted to study with Awa Kenzo, and this guy was this incredible archer back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and he said something called you need to let go of your willful will. You need to let go of your desire to control the outcome, is the way I interpret it, right? So if you look at Bryson, when he's factoring in all of these numbers, what's he doing? He's in the process. He's enjoying the process. He's not worried if the ball ends up a foot. He's worried about how to get the ball to end up a foot. And so he's running this math, and he's doing it in his head in a matter of a fraction of a second, as fast as a computer almost, maybe not a computer, but close, because he's done it so many times. And if you see him on the range, thousands and thousands of balls he's hitting balls at 9:45 at night at the U.S. Open. Like nobody works harder than Bryce.
He's not enjoying the process. Huh? I don't know if that's
it.
That's amazing. Go ahead, Ty.
Phil, I am also a lefty, so thank you for giving me someone to emulate while I was growing up playing golf. But I've always been curious, like, what's your mindset going into a tournament? Obviously, you win the PGA this year, and then you go to like the Open Championship. When you're going in, are you thinking like, okay, I'm going to win this tournament no matter what? Or you obviously know your game better than anyone else and you miss the cut. Like, are you thinking, okay, I'm going to have to be perfect in all different ways to win and compete this week? Like, how does that go?
So in my mindset is I want to prepare and give myself my best chance to succeed and be in position to contend or win or what have you. And when I went into, I'm going to use the U.S. Open as a better example because it was here in San Diego. And I went out to Torrey the week before the U.S. Open, and I spent hours each day putting on every green and videoing every putt. I hit, 800 putts, maybe more. I averaged 30 times 18, so 800 putts. And I would watch them. And I would, before the rounds, I would go out and pick the whole location that they actually had for that day, and I'd watch the videos, and I'd go work on my game. And the fact is that I didn't play well, and I didn't win, and John Rahm did. What a great win. But I did everything I could to succeed. And I go to the British Open, and I practiced, and I went there early, and I prepared. I was playing really well. Heading to the Open. I do not know what happened on Thursday. I played great in the practice rounds. I felt prepared. I felt ready. I thought I was going to come out and play, and my mind went blank, and I just kind of lost it. And I think that's one of those things where after playing, 5 out of 6 weeks, I had the match in there. I didn't have the mental strength, capacity, or longevity, whatever. Maybe it's at age. Maybe it's just me to be that present, that focused for that period of time. And so that's why we as athletes have to understand and know ourselves and kind of pace ourselves so that we perform at the biggest events. But okay, so now knowing that I prepared as well as I could and I did everything I possibly could, if I don't succeed, it's okay because I can't do anything different. So I gave it my best chance. I gave it everything I could. I put everything into it. I didn't succeed. Now, when I do succeed, like at the PGA, it's very fulfilling.
Yeah, I would say.
Right?
Yeah.
Right, because you live for those moments. And when you get a few of those moments, you cherish them forever.
6 major wins, so many magical moments in the history of golf. You're drinking out of a mug with your own picture on it. I mean, what job well done.
Yeah.
Hey, Lefty, hell of a job. And his last question, we can't thank you enough for your time. Better than ever, obviously. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Phil, one of the big storylines that's been going on in golf lately is this Brooks-Bryson rivalry. Is that something you think is good for golf, or do you think that there's kind of no room for that on the tour and it almost draws like a divide in the clubhouse?
I think it's brilliant for golf. I think it's incredible. And I like and respect both players very much, and I think that it's something that has helped golf transcend outside of just the golf page, but more into the sports world. And I think it's been great for both of them individually as well. So I think it's been terrific, and they've brought a lot of awareness to the game of golf and a lot of great storylines, a lot of interest. I think it's been fabulous.
There was a conversation that it was going to be Bryson, Brooks, and Mickelson.
Yeah.
And I think it was the first pairing potentially post the eye roll DeChambeau Brooks situation. And I think everybody was like, Phil Mickelson's the perfect guy to put in.
Yeah.
Phil Mickelson's the perfect guy to put in there. Are you you have to be somebody that all these young golfers go to, right? Have to be. I assume that is just a kind of a part of the job now at this point, is answering and giving advice, or is that not something that happens in golf?
No, it definitely happens. And for me, it was guys like Ben Crenshaw that were very helpful, where I was able to ask questions. And so it's helpful to have a lot of these questions answered and get some ideas and direction on how to handle some difficult situations that nobody else would really be aware of unless you were in the golf world, unless you were playing the PGA Tour, some of the challenges that you face. And there's solutions. There's a lot of solutions to them, but sometimes it takes a while to find them on your own. So I'd be happy to answer anything. I'd also be happy to kind of referee as the third wheel in that match too. But I don't think it's a great idea to do it during a major championship. And the reason is it takes away from the major championship. I think it puts all the focus on the group and not on the tournament itself. And in a major, you want to elevate the status of the event. in a regular tour event, I think it's great. I think it'd be fine because you want to create interest in that PGA Tour event. The majors don't need the interest. They want to let their own history be the storyline, and so that's why I didn't think it was great in the majors. But I wouldn't be surprised if it happens in a tour event.
I can't wait to see it. Last question before we let you go. Aaron Rodgers, the best golfer you've seen in the match, yeah?
Well, that aren't tour pros, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Did you expect that out of him or no?
I was hoping it wouldn't be the case, but
Hey, I didn't know you guys did not have a relationship before that. I assumed you two knew each other. When he gave a shut up Phil or something like that, I started laughing so hard. But that goes back to your point. In the realm of competition in golf, you're allowed to say things like that, and people are completely cool with it. And you were completely cool with it at the time, as were you today. Thank you so much, Phil. We appreciate it, man.
thanks for having me on, and good luck with everything. I'm a big fan. I enjoyed being a part of it.
Well, Phil, you know, the fact that you potentially know this show exists is a big day. The fact that you came on here, we're not better than ever. We still stink, but you're an absolute legend. Ladies and gentlemen, Phil Mickelson. Thank you. Cheers, man. You see, you put it up there on the front foot.
That's right.
With the weight on the front foot as well.
Okay.
And then you just swing at that thing, and it's going to pop up like a gem. Whew. Tried it last night at the house. Guess what? AJ Hawk's 20 million is coming to me sooner than ever. That was maybe the greatest golf conversation I've ever had with any human. Obviously, it's the best golfer I've ever talked to in my life. Big shout out to lefty Phil Mickelson.
Thank you, Phil.
You know, we don't do that often where we pre-record and then air it. Like, literally, I think one or two other times ever. This
Almost
is not,
never.
It's a precedent that I have been like, nah, can't do it, because I think I told somebody that was very important one time, nah, I need you on live. And if I didn't do it for that person, it was like, okay, I can't do it for any. Phil Mickelson's one of those people where it's like, hey, Phil, you want to come on the show, man? We are very thankful for that. That happened via Twitter interaction.
Ooh.
Okay.
A Twitter interaction, then some DMs, then he had to go to England, then he came back, and then he followed up and said, hey, let's do this. It was very, very nice of him, very thankful for it. We'll be back on the other side of this 4-minute break to react to that and also talk about all the news that is currently happening today. Shout out to Phil. Good luck in Memphis. 1-833-4-McAfee. Call the 5-Hour Energy phone line. We can't wait to chat with you. See you then. What's the accent for? Well, obviously, because the Scots created golf. 141 out. McAfee up 1 in his match game against Jordan Bancroft. Just drove it 360 yards. 350. Out the hands. Out of the pocket, cross it. Son of a bitch. I mean, on the green, not within 10 feet, which is what we're looking for. Have a great day, bloody Scott out there. I was told by Del Curry, Scottie Pippen struggles on a golf course, right?
Right.
I was told at that thing that I'm going against Scottie Pippen the next day, match play, heads up, one-on-one Scottie Pippen. So we decide, like, okay, we could probably have a couple drinks, stay at the casino a little bit longer than we should.
Representing the NFL out of the Shoeless Golf Club of America, Pat McAfee. His opponent, representing the NBA, Scottie Pippen.
You know what I mean? This guy's got 6 rings. Yeah. He's a fucking Hall of Famer. But today he's going to play against me. And then I start seeing Scottie hit some shots that are just like starting to come together. And I'm like, wait a fucking minute. I think I was lied to.
We were lied to yesterday. We were told Scottie Pippen was a terrible golfer. Bro, he's Scottie fucking Pippen.
Going in the back 9, I think I was down 1. Like, we were battling. But I started making putts. And Scottie Pippen went ahead and got real hot. I mean, real fucking hot. I was down 3 with 7 left. And I looked right in the camera, and I go,
So we're down 3 with like 7 holes left. Scottie Pippen's about to get this work.
Scottie Pippen from 190 yards out just fucking dunks it. Fucking boom, bang, and then walks up to the green, gets the ball, cameras on him, and he goes, Pippen ain't easy. Kidding me.
right? Down 4 with 6 left after Scottie Pippen just chips in from fucking 400 yards out.
I was fucking demoralized.
Pippen ain't easy.
By the way, best he's ever performed at golf, because I'm around, better teammate than Jordan.
Yep.
People forget. Oh, yeah, I told Dell, I was like, Dell, what the fuck you lying to me? He was like, well, I saw it yesterday. He was not great. And Greg Anthony told me, and I was like, Dell, he buried me, Del Curry. He buried me. He was like, hey, Pippen ain't easy.
Yes, baby, it's time to celebrate.
Talking about a shotgun of beer after he had beat me, obviously. I like teach him how to do it.
Yeah, put a hole in there. It might spread a little bit, so.
Leave it all
Yeah, so you're going to go here, and then you're going to open and flip up. Does that make sense? Congrats on winning the NBA a couple times, blah, 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 blah. And being an incredible golfer.
Thanks, Paul.
Cheers,
Appreciate it.
Hey.
Damn.
Okay,
That's the
Scotty.
best Bud Light I ever had.
Hey, there's no stuck in here.
You right.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Welcome back to that show. Wednesday, August 4th, 2021, years after zero. Just got done with our conversation of Phil Mickelson. That's one that I'm gonna be pretty proud of us for some time.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know?
So cool.
Put that one up on the mantle.
Yeah.
There's no reason that conversation should have happened or should have went how it went. I think it went pretty well.
I think so.
Incredible.
I think there's a chance maybe Phil will say, I'll go back on there again.
You know
He said
what?
he's a big fan.
Yeah, but I feel like people, like nice guy at the end, kind of
Cordial.
just kind of let that thing out.
I don't know.
Hey, you've said you're a big fan of a lot of people before.
That's right.
That means absolutely nothing coming out of your mouth.
Yeah, but I'm not Phil.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. That could be just something nice that Phil says, so people think like, oh, that was very nice of Phil to be invested in there. You know what I mean? I'm not 100% sure because I tell a lot of people like, hey, love what you're doing.
And lo and behold.
I have no idea what they're doing.
True.
Yeah, I've
That's
actually
fair.
never seen it
That's
before.
fair.
I've actually just been, and that's, by the way, I probably would. I have seen a small clip. I enjoyed it. I assume that small sample is very similar to everything else you're doing. But who has the time to watch everybody's everything?
No.
Nobody does. Okay, so I'm all about the, hey, love what you're doing, man. Love it. Love doing that. And I think it's because, in my eyes, I saw something. I enjoyed it. But it is a little bit of I'm withholding some truth there. Like, I think when I'm delivering it to people, they're like, oh, I'm kind of fan. Oh, Phil Mickelson might have seen me maybe do one golf swing or something, or seen something happen, or maybe seen Connor do the John Bon Jovi song that he knows.
Yeah, exactly.
There's something that could happen, but nonetheless, he knew we existed, came on the show, seemed to have a good time. Maybe we'll get him back on.
Yeah, hopefully. And like you said, he's talking about playing for the next 10, 15 years at this elite level. So maybe we get Phil coming off a couple major victories in the future. I mean,
Green jacket.
he's still the guy.
I mean, there has to be a business partner of ours that's rather large that would be interested in Phil Mickelson.
You'd think.
Maybe.
I mean, can we not? I mean, that seems like a guy you want on your team. He already gave me a golf lesson, made me a fucking scratch golfer.
Uh-huh.
I mean, what else is Phil
We
going to
played
do?
at 6 a.m. this morning.
Almost
What'd you-
did.
Yeah.
Almost did, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, when I texted you guys at 5:30, said I was going golfing.
Yep.
I was actually just getting up to take a piss. Thought about going golfing. The wife and I, we made a decision we weren't going to go out there. She was actually going to ride along, play some music in a golf cart. We're going to play a quick 9 holes at the course down the road there that I am a member of. I've been paying for the last 3 years. It is wildly priced. I've never played there except
Sure.
for one time.
Sure.
But fell back to sleep. I don't know how people do it in the morning, but
Starting to think about it,
I'm
though.
starting to
That's
think
how
about it.
that's how it starts.
And if Phil's around, I assume that's only going to happen more and more. Golf is a sport we all love, we all stink at. Getting a guy like Phil around every once in a while would be good news for everybody. But if he doesn't, I hope we gave the golf community at least something they can hang their hat on in that conversation. I hope we did a little bit of justice and service to that conversation. Speaking of another conversation that's happening on the internet right now, and Zito did inform me of this information alongside Jason McAfee right before we came on live.
Okay.
I guess there is a full fraternity of COVIDs coming out.
What?
Excuse me?
What are you talking
A full
about?
frat. They've all pledged. They've all did whatever they had to do to get into said COVID fraternity. It was COVID Delta. Now I guess there's a COVID Lambda. Is there gonna? I think there's gonna
also
be
a
COVID,
Delta Plus.
Huh?
There's a Delta Plus too.
Well, the plus has nothing to do with the fraternities, obviously, but like the
Exclusive.
the
Apple Plus.
the COVID Chi is potentially is
No.
going to be something.
You're lying.
Yeah, I
You're
think
lying.
so. I think so. Lambda is a real one. This is real. Who's naming these things? Who's naming the president of these fraternities? Like who?
Zeus?
Who? Is it the Greek? How's the Greek alphabet in there? At least we didn't get like this is COVID Papa Alpha Tango. Like
Wow.
the,
Oh, no
can we
thanks.
get the
That
air?
would be pretty sweet.
Yeah,
I
what-
mean,
what
That'd
is
be a
it?
strong COVID, though. I don't know if we want to see COVID Alpha Papa Tango.
No,
That'd be
Papa
difficult.
Alpha Tango, but the COVID Alpha Beta. What's C? Charlie.
Charlie, Delta,
You're gonna
Delta.
love who names these.
Echo.
F is never gets to it.
Nah.
This is when the planes start speaking to each other to talk over your head. You know at least a little bit what's going on. That's right. Whenever they start speaking in that language, it's good. Who names these things?
Who?
Who?
World Health Organization.
Yes. They go by who?
Abbreviation.
Hey, they were a pretty large part of this entire story at the beginning of this thing, too, right?
Massive.
Oh yeah.
All right, blinders back on.
Yeah.
So I started looking into anything that could consume your entire life.
Can't
from
do
what
it.
I've been told.
That's right.
So sometimes you just got to stay out of that. I'll let the people get to my timeline with information when I need to hear it.
Make sure you carry around.
There is some alarming things being said about COVID right now that are making their way into my timeline again, and they haven't been there for some time.
Yeah.
What is this all about? We, in this room, proclaim a lot of things a lot of the times.
Oh yeah.
And I think we got a pretty good hit rate. Like I think we hit on a lot more than we miss on. That's why people continue to listen. People continue to listen to this show because we hit on things. You know what I mean? And we hit them not because we're entertaining or maybe say things in a different style. No, it's because of how accurate we normally are. And that gets forgotten in the judgment of the show. Maybe somebody comes in, they see the delivery, they hear the John Bond, they see everything going on. I don't think we can get enough of that. I watched that 10 times last night.
It's a great song.
10 times less. But we normally hit on things whenever we say it. It feels like we might have jumped the gun on this COVID death.
No.
It feels like we were celebrating far too early. I mean, we were celebrating months and months and months ago that COVID was dead. And guess what? We're almost right because Texas Rangers had 40,000 people at a baseball game. Think about that. You have to convince people to go to a baseball game. 40,000 of them did in this country we're living in. COVID's dead. Roger Goodell says, what? Full stadiums in the fall.
Yeah.
COVID's dead. UFC selling out arenas everywhere. COVID's dead. Mask mandates get lifted. Everybody's coming back to life.
COVID's dead.
Guess what? I heard that we were potentially misreading that entire situation. Whenever we were doing the full, remember we were even doing the juju
Yeah,
TikTok
the juju.
dance,
Yeah.
the Corvette going on COVID.
Yeah.
From what I'm reading, that's making its way into my timeline, which is a tough timeline to crack if you're from the real world. Okay, maybe it's just the algorithms at this point. They know, okay, this stooge wants a couple things here. All right, he wants some wrestling in there.
Yep.
Wants a lot of sports in there.
What?
Some funny stuff in there.
What?
Hey, maybe some food in there.
What?
Yeah, maybe some dope in there too.
What?
Yeah, but don't get anything that is really frustrating for a lot of people, it seems like, in here. We got blinders on. We're having a good old time. It seems like something very negative has been making its way back in far too often. I have not seen it for some times. COVID seems to be all the way back, and now we got the goddamn Lambda frat getting involved. What do we got cooking?
Well,
on?
we were just, basing our, celebration and research on what other people were telling us. I mean, when you hear full stadiums, you assume, okay, yeah, COVID's dead. We're back. Yeah. So, I mean, as long as we get NFL football again, and we will, because there was NFL football last year, I'm okay, but we need full stadiums.
It makes everything better when everybody's allowed to go say, hey, how's it going? Nice little clean dap up, maybe. Remember, we were doing the elbow thing there for a long time.
Yeah.
Everybody said, this new normal, goodbye to daps. And it's like, actually, I was I seen a lot of really good daps lately. It seemed like the dap people were missing, actually. Are we going to be losing daps again?
Feels like it.
No.
On the other side of this break, I guess we'll have to talk about it. See you in hour 2 with AJ Hawk.
Late in the game, had a, they wouldn't show it because I play for the Packers, but I had a pretty sweet no-looker to Devontae on the last drive that I'd kind of set up for a few plays because Darius is so athletic side to side. He loves reading your eyes, and I just kind of came back and looked left and then looked outside him on the right and threw it behind him to
Go get him. Hey, I'm so thankful Patrick Mahomes brought that into the NFL.
I know.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Good for him.
Yeah, I know. It's just none of us been doing it for a while. I will say this. A guy who probably doesn't get anywhere near the credit.
Brett.
We're doing shit like that all the time. He wears number 9 and plays in Detroit. Okay, that dude, what he does with the ball, it's impressive. It's really, really impressive. And I know Dan Orlovsky will highlight some stuff from time to time, sure, because they play together and they're good friends, which he should. But that dude's throwing crazy no-lookers all the time. And he can throw from any arm angle. I don't think he gets. Maybe it's Detroit. Maybe it's based on they haven't.
They just got lost 20-0 to the Panthers. They just lost 20-0 to the Panthers. I mean, that's.
I know. But he didn't. They had some guys out, Pat. Let's take it.
Hey, Tom. Football. You think the Steelers, Packers, Colts, Bears, Steelers, Colts, Dolphins, Colts, Broncos, Cowboys will be better than the Patriots this year?
Absolutely. Don't. They got broken foots. No, not that.
Oh, yeah,
Bear Dahn.
I know they're both going to be better than the Lions.
Oh!
Without a doubt.
1,000,000,000%.
Yeah, every single one of them.
There's so many layers to that question. I don't want to hear it.
Come on, give an answer. You got to give an answer.
The Colts are going to win more than 8.5 games, which is their current over/under. All right.
Oh, yeah.
That's.
What do you think?
They are going to do better than the Patriots.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah.
All right, we'll see. We'll all see, won't we?
Your team stinks, dude.
Hey, Foxy, you think the Lions are going to be better than the Patriots this year?
Yes, I do.
Idiot!
They just They try to kick each other. They jumped right in the way of the propellers of a boat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. Gold medal. I've been training my whole life for this. There isn't another one of these for how many years? 3 more years? I'll go. Did you see Simone spin on the beam? And a couple ta-ta-ta-ta-tas? Oh, we're going to win it all. The guy that won from China, his shoulders were full boulders. He was the only one that looked like, oh, there's a fucking jacked Olympic weightlifter right there. But as those swimmers are sitting on that thing like this or whatever, if they train their entire lives to make that moment, and then as it's waiting, they just accidentally, boom, fucking out, disqualified.
Yeah.
The commentators in all the sports, I think, okay, we're good.
Oh, yeah.
Not great. You gotta explain to me what the fuck's going on. This is the World Games, dude. I watch judo, okay? Ooh. I watched the Abe family, sister and brother out of Japan, win back-to-back judo championships. I have no idea how anybody scores in judo. All right, it was 0-0 and it went into a golden score situation. Oh. And somehow she got a point, she won, she pinned her, the whole celebration thing happened, it was great. Then her brother comes out and he's going against somebody and he's just fucking throwing him. I don't know how they're getting points. I have no clue what's going on. He wins, didn't smile one time. Ooh. He won, it was just like, yep, this is what I fucking do. But handball is always one that we watch, the world watches and goes, how is this not massive in America? It's high intensity, it's high scoring. There's incredible athletic plays, both offensively and defensively. There's big time, acrobatic jumps and shit. It's a great game. Oh, you're telling me that if Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers,
Josh Allen,
Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, you're telling me if the greatest athlete throwers that we have in the NFL were to put a team together, they would win the Olympics at handball? Never would have fucking guessed that.
I will say this about the golf tournament. Watch out for the South Koreans. They dropped out of the Open, the British Open, because if they win the golf tournament or medal in the golf tournament, they don't have to do military service for the next 2 years.
So I'm betting on them.
Yeah, it's a pretty good prize.
What is that?
Are you kidding me?
What is that? Has the rest of the golf world heard about this and maybe looked out for their friends?
That's what I was thinking. Hey, let's let them get a medal.
Hey, dude,
If it's a gimme, go ahead and just do a little rim job.
I mean, they're good guys. You like them. They're
Patty,
nice on
Patty
the door.
Reed ain't.
Patty, go to war, pal.
Hey, sorry, bub.
How come our 3-on-3 team is not the professor, hot sauce, and maybe Skip to my Lou? But a lot of people are blaming Popovich, and now there's rumors that Popovich is actually trying to put in, hey, this is how we got to win an international, allegedly. Now, who knows what I know? I don't know anything. It did look like they were running good fundamental basketball offense, though, on the other teams that I've watched. Let's not ask like how or why any of these sports are sports. Okay, let's just watch them and enjoy them. We're watching people who have dedicated their entire lives to a workout, to an event, an activity, 5 a.m. wake-ups, 4 a.m. wake-ups, ice tubs, hot tubs, hours, blisters, blood, sweat, tears, dedication, commitment, missing of events, for these things that we don't fully understand or see how or why.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back to the show. Hour 2 here on this beautiful Wednesday, August 4th, 2021. Phil Mickelson was last hour. Wait till you hear who we got joining us now. Oh. Yeah, shout out to Twine for that beat drop on this Hour 2 Sirius XM Channel 82 Mad Dog Sports Radio Show and youtube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. The Hammered Down Boys have joined us, the two hottest men in gambling, and have been for some months now at this time. Did you go 4-0 last night, Gumpy?
4-1.
Okay, so now you're 18-4.
Yes, sir.
In your last 22.
Jesus.
That's Diggs.
Guys on a run.
Hey, Diggs. Let's see, you're nothing to sneeze at either. You're handing out money. You have been handing out money. But right now, what I think we need to realize is we have somebody who is giving out public bets that is on a heater. And people are saying, well, Pat, you're going to jinx it now for talking about it. It's like, no, I've been talking about this now for 3-4 days. And if you have not gotten on board yet, you have missed out. We have to acknowledge when somebody's brain is clicking on all cylinders. We have to acknowledge when a beard is not the only flawless thing about somebody, their ability to scan through an entire sports book and an app that has so many bets on it and find winners. You have to acknowledge that, and we have to benefit and profit off of that. Ladies and gentlemen, the hottest gambler on earth right now at Bubba Gumpino. Hey, it's got to feel pretty good. You go to bed, big smile on your face, I assume, tonight?
It's the best. There's nothing better. Food tastes better.
Oh, yeah.
Drinks taste better.
Yeah.
You ride that wave, my friend, because you just never know when it could come crumbling down.
Now, it won't, by the way. I think, honestly, this is the new you. You know, Phil Mickelson told us in the last hour that he doesn't see an end in sight with how he's been able to golf and take care of his body. I think that's what we're looking at with you, Gumpy. So I think you need to acknowledge what we all have acknowledged right now, and that is you are at the top of your game. And whenever you're at the top of your game, guess what? We're all making a lot of money off it. So we appreciate you, man. Go ahead and enjoy the hell out of that. Enjoy the food. Enjoy everything that comes with it. Because we do know that if it does turn, you take it very seriously.
Oh, yeah.
So let's live for these moments.
The food does start to taste terrible.
Well, yeah, and your entire aura just, you look like a beaten man.
Your world crumbles around you.
Wait a second. So,
you have a hot bat right now, my friend.
You enjoy this. Yeah. Enjoy it. Please do. Like, go out and get the nice I need you to enjoy this, because how hard you take the losses, you have to enjoy the ups. If you're going to take the downs, I'm not somebody that really does that at this point anymore, because I think I've been either heartbroken or let down so many times. So I've kind of gotten rid of that when it comes to these types of things. But with how you handle them at this point in your life, whenever you're losing, which is very rare, the disappointment that you radiate because you feel like you've let everybody down is palpable. It is something that I feel so bad. I'm like, Gumpy, hey, fucking come on. Zoom out. This is baseball, pal. You're taking a lot of swings here. Don't worry about the losses. But you take it so serious. Now that you're on this incredible hot, let's fucking enjoy it. Hey, let's pimp the bat, man.
Yeah,
you're hitting
big time.
Hey, let's go ahead and pimp these home runs. You know what I mean? I think we deserve, I think we deserve, a fresh new Gumpy. Let's send him on a shopping spree.
Here we go.
Hell yeah.
I think the listeners have hammered down, and us, the people who are profiting off of this, we should take care of Gumpy for this entire thing. Don't you think, Tom?
I mean, 18-4. I mean, are you
Come
kidding me?
on! You know how much
kidding
money
me?
we're making off of this guy right
What?
now? Joining us now is a man who is probably the one who should pay for the shopping spree.
I think you're right.
Yeah, definitely.
1,000%.
Because what he said about Gumpy looking like Fidel Castro
Oh my god.
is potentially the moment where everything changed.
Yeah.
Motivator.
What?
Okay. College football national champion, ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk. Hey, did you hear what Gumpy has done since you mocked him in front of all these people looking like a dictator?
Well, first off, I did not mock him. I simply made an observation on what he was wearing, and it turns out, hey, I was pretty spot on, right? So, Gumpy, you are welcome. I appreciate the fact that I can motivate you to make a bunch of money for all these people that follow you.
Yeah, and Ohio will get legalized sports gambling, and within the next 2 years, we are told by somebody who is entrenched in battle right now.
Good luck. Good luck.
Good luck out there, Gonzo.
Good luck. You can do it.
Did you hear the conversation with Phil Mickelson in the first hour?
I was able to see some of it. Yes, it was great. Phil seems to love you, and it seems like you really lit up at the end. That's the one part I did see. Oh, you are aware of me, Phil. All right. I got it. I was pumped for you. I was like, sweet. Phil knows of what you do. What happens here?
It's a very interesting thing, and I'm happy that you got to see the true sense of joy that I had whenever he said that. Because
you should have. You shouldn't hide that. I think you should show that.
Okay, cool. Okay, good. Because I feel the exact same way. Because I don't really hang out with anybody. I don't go see people. I don't do anything. Outside of the WWE, I am pretty much around the same people all the time. I think, like Chicago, me and my lady walking down the streets, that's like the first time I've ever, in a long time, been out and about. There's a lot of people in Chicago that came and said hello and knew the show and everything like that. People were very nice. But whenever you hear it from somebody like Phil, it's like, hey, maybe we're doing a little something out there. Hey, maybe we're doing a little something out there. We can't thank him enough. He also said off air, AJ Hawk, his favorite football player of all time.
By far.
Man, thanks, Phil. Very nice of you.
He didn't say it, but I'm putting words in his mouth. I'm ruining the relationship.
If you really thought that I believed you, then I probably shouldn't be on this show.
Okay, a couple things. Let's get into it. You're right. There's not a lot of people that could handle the spot that you have sat in on a regular basis. We appreciate that. A couple things to go and hit around the NFL. AJ, Trey Lance looking like a Patrick Mahomes 2.0.
Wow.
Patrick Mahomes 2.0 says Benjamin Albright at Albright NFL, and Benjamin Albright knows his shit, doesn't he? What's going on?
What was that about, Tony?
Cowboy
Groans
Diggs,
from
yeah.
Tony.
What was that?
What do you mean?
Well, it was very audible.
Oh no, that wasn't towards Ben. Me and Ben have.
Do you and Ben Albright have beef? I didn't. Is this the person?
Remember, he was the guy that had me blocked for no reason.
Oh yeah, but you guys are back.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, so let's move on.
I should have kept it to myself because you were explaining the situation. But I mean, let's relax. Let's pump the brakes a little bit on Mahomes.
Okay. So Diggs is offended about Patrick Mahomes 2.0, and by the way, I don't think I love that much either because you're talking about ridiculous expectations now for a guy who I guess was the number 3 overall pick, where everybody's going to be expecting him to be great to begin with. But we should appreciate Patrick Mahomes enough not to just grace everybody with Mahomes 2.0. Just like whenever they said Mac Jones had a little Tom Brady in him, it was like, okay, he can throw the ball well. He can because like Tom Brady is Tom Brady because Tom Brady's brain is different than everybody else. It's just like Patrick Mahomes, same thing. But that has to be great to hear out of the Niners faithful who thought they were getting Mac Jones for about a month and a half, ended up with Trey Lance. But this also follows up with John Lynch telling Adam Schefter, hey, Jimmy Garoppolo looks better than he's ever looked. On Schefter's podcast, felt like John Lynch almost said, hey, anybody want to come trade for Jimmy Garoppolo? Come on and get him. And then with what they're saying about Trey Lance, let's go ahead and do that. Great situation to be in with 2 great quarterbacks in the NFL, especially for a team that has been ravaged with injury over the last couple of years.
Well, I think it's all part of, I think it all can be true. Trey Lance, from the throws that have been out there online, he looks really good. Jimmy G looks good as well, but I saw Colin Cowherd a couple hours ago talk about it, saying, all you're saying when you're pumping Trey Lance up this much is that, hey, the price tag is don't come cheap if you want Jimmy G. It's going to cost you. That's why if both of them are playing well and you can say that and you believe that, yeah, you're in a great situation.
That's a fascinating take, because my take is, like, if Jimmy G gets hurt, you got a guy who could potentially win you a Super Bowl. Maybe if they're thinking he's Mahomes 2.0, and maybe they're viewing it that way because the Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes situation as well, where it's like the stories I was told from anonymous sources.
Ooh. Okay.
And I'm normally not great at this, so I might give the person's name. The punter told me. No, I'm joking. Colquitt did tell me, though. He was like, yeah, the entire year there, what Patrick Mahomes is doing against the defense, because you don't get any reps on the offense when you're a backup quarterback. I think Jameis came out and said that basically the other day. We have said that a lot. Backup quarterback in the NFL, although your job is very significant and important, you're not getting a lot of reps, because why would you waste any reps between the number ones with anybody other than your quarterback whenever those things are so paramount in this entire thing? But whenever you think about Patrick Mahomes slicing and dicing that Chiefs defense all year, and the entire team watching it just being like, God damn. But Alex Smith was playing like MVP-like football, and he was finally in a situation where he had a head coach and a team around him, and he was playing great football. They beat the Patriots by like 700 the first week. Yeah. He was in the MVP conversation. This was the Alex Smith. This was the Alex Smith that everybody was like, okay, finally, number 1 overall pick over Aaron Rodgers, Alex Smith. And although Aaron and Alex don't have any beef with that whole thing, he was balling. So when they ship him out of town to Washington, and Patrick Mahomes starts against Denver in Denver, they win, and then he's on the bench the rest of the time. There was a lot of, myself included, that were like, Alex Smith is finally playing great football, and you're just going to say, get out. And then that's when I got a text from Colquitt that was like, hey, just wait until you see this fucking guy. And that has been 100% accurate. Kansas City Chiefs fans called in the show. I forget where we were. I think we were on Sirius at the time, or maybe we were just live on YouTube or somewhere else. I forget where we were. Somebody called in there like, Patrick Mahomes is going to be the MVP. I've watched every training camp practice this guy, and we're like, get the fuck out of here to that guy. And it's been real. So maybe that's what they're alluding to. And if that's the case, then maybe Lynch is looking to get rid of Jimmy G. And there's some teams right now that are desperate still, I guess.
Well, I think they're in a good spot because they can sit back and say no for any offers that come at them with Jimmy G, because they know we can keep him on here and have both these guys here. Even if we play Trey Lance, even if we want to put him in, let's have a solid backup that we trust until we get an offer that says, all right, this is too good to turn down. So here you go, you got him.
And they remember whenever they were going to draft Mac Jones at the time, they came out at the Alabama Pro Day, I think, and told somebody like, Jimmy G is still in our plans. Jimmy G is still in our plans. They told Jimmy G that he was, and we thought naturally like $20-some million would be saved if they just moved Jimmy G, and they already knew. They just gave up 2 first-rounders to get up to 3. If they're not taking a quarterback, they're going to be judged for that. If they're taking a quarterback, that is obviously the future of the franchise. You could save some money in a cap, strapped year here with the salary cap not jumping as much as everybody thought because Uncle COVID came through. I believe that was COVID Alpha.
Okay.
Yeah, we're now on Lambda and Delta Plus. And I'll tell you what, when you fly Delta Plus, that son of a bitch is quick.
Yeah, moving.
Yeah.
But they said we have enough money to manage it all. I guess they're sticking by that. But it could get expensive. Like, it could get pretty tasty, a trade offer. And if Trey Lance continues to ball out, maybe they'll look at it. But Schefter's podcast seems to be a place where, like, you would set a seed maybe if you're trying to make him right in that like kind of ice. People probably listen to Schefter.
Oh yeah,
that's why he has all the connections. You know what I mean? Is that a place we'll have to watch and see? I hope Trey Lance is a Mahomes 2.0 though, because whenever Mahomes is on TV, guess what? I need to fucking watch it, and I hope Trey Lance is that same type of player. Let's go to the Los Angeles Rams practice. We talked about this yesterday, and you said it's heard all the time. Stay away from the fuck quarterback. It is. It's even though it's very difficult. Matthew Stafford injured his thumb at the end of practice, hitting it off a helmet. He was supposed to have a day off. Listen to this, AJ. You're supposed to have a day off? He said, I don't have fucking days off.
No way.
Well, he taped the thumb. Foxy said, what is this? Just a little bit of a paper cut for this guy.
That's it. That's all it is.
This guy's played with a broken neck before.
Yep.
Aaron Donald's come out and said, like, hey, watching Matthew Stafford do what Matthew Stafford does is something I ain't never seen before, basically. So everybody immediately goes, oh, he's burying Goff. And it's like, no, I think he's just impressed by what he's seen with Stafford, as we all have been who've got to see him play. This guy's it. This is a potential MVP year for Matthew Stafford. LA, bright lights. If that team does well, never had a vote. I mean, this could be massive for Matthew Stafford, AJ.
Of course. I think I said a couple days ago on the show, like, I think Stafford could easily be an MVP candidate this year. I think someone called in, or maybe one of the toxic table guys tried to tell me, like, oh, absolutely not. Oh, stooge for trying to say Stafford's
so it's
not
probably you.
No, it wasn't. Not at all.
Connor, can you do the John Bond thing real quick?
AJ, I'm not just some dancing clown.
I haven't seen
all right?
that clip. I want a clip of it. I wanted to see it last night. I didn't see any of it.
Oh, there's clip. I watched it 10 times last night.
Clips out.
Someone send me a link, please.
We'll send it to your email, at Hotmail. Yeah, we'll send it over there.
AOL.com.
Yeah, whatever you need, we'll get it over there. I watched it 10 times last night, but the more and more we talked about it, and it was a good conversation that said John Bond that you talked about brought up.
Mm-hmm.
What is going to be your betting style here for the Futures MVP bets?
So I think I'm going to hammer Mahomes because when you think about last year, even when Rodgers was the clear-cut MVP, they were still pounding the Mahomes drum, the media. So you got to think if he does well and he's up there on the top, they're going to give it to him. And then a little sprinkle with Brady and Stafford just because, Brady, second year in that offense, they're finally familiar. And then Stafford. And Stafford's great. Obviously going to be in the best offense he's ever been in. And like with the Goff thing and Rodgers, Stafford's in a different tier than Jared Goff. You can compliment Stafford without burying Goff. It doesn't make sense how that's a spin still.
Well, and by the way, the people would say that would be burying Goff with what you just said there and saying that Stafford and Goff are in a different tier because Goff has been to a Super Bowl like the corner from San Fran said with that entire thing.
Yeah.
And Stafford haven't, and a lot of people haven't seen Stafford play football, I think.
Yeah.
And it's just... Listen, this dude is in and that's why the futures bets are fun. I'm going to get to Tone Diggs here, the COVID cowboy. Oh, we should get with the heater guy. Nah, this is a futures bet. You live in a moment. Tone, you stay right here, pal. Be right, Fedor.
Tone's future fortune.
Tone's future fortunes. I forgot about that. We had an entire run with that. For MVP betting, because the odds are so big, like my immediate thought was, all right, I'm going to sprinkle some here, I'm going to sprinkle some here, I'm going to sprinkle some here. It's like horse racing almost.
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking?
That's
He said he's going all in on Mahomes just because he said, why are we wasting time on 8 different horses if we know we got the one that's using the lotion on the ass that makes it run faster?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like Mahomes one makes sense. He's plus 500. It's great value if you think Mahomes is definitely always going to be in the conversation. But like for Mahomes to win the MVP, he's going to do like extraordinary things because he's already won one. People expect a lot out of Mahomes. Stafford, though, I just literally, as we were talking, put in one on Stafford because it made sense. He's plus 1,700. Like for defense, I sprinkled on like 3 or 4 different guys with long shots. I'm a big sprinkle on the futures guy.
Okay, so big sprinkle on the futures guy. I think it's a smart move. Tone, you've always made money. Stafford could come out in a big way in front of the whole world because they're going to be on television. Sean McVay is a star. Aaron Donald's a star. LA's a massive city until the Chargers, which they might, that team is legit over there. Not really talked about much because I think because they're in LA behind the Rams and also they're in the same division as Patrick Mahomes, but that Rams team is going to be on TV.
To your point, week 1, I believe they play Sunday night against the Bears, and that's when everyone's going to see Matthew Stafford ball.
And the Lions would never, ever get that.
No, Thanksgiving is the only primetime game every single year.
And good for him. It's going against a Bears defense he knows pretty well. And he knows, that, hey, and boys hunt out there. Yeah. Who's going to be a quarterback on the other side? Andy Dalton. Will the Bears fans be cheering for him, or would it be like that XFL game where the backup quarterback's name was getting chanted in the crowd? Some breaking news here in the NFL. Just one day after a conversation with Coach A.Q. Shipley telling me that Todd Bowles is the smartest defensive person he's ever been around in his life. Todd Bowles agrees to a new 3-year contract with the Buccaneers that continues to make him the NFL's highest paid defensive coordinator per source. He did have 1 year left on his deal, but this contract replaces that and doesn't preclude him from taking another head coaching job via Adam Schefter via his Twitter account. So I was talking to A.Q. Shipley last night. We're just kind of catching up, Coach A.Q. And I asked him, I was like, that defense, how we doing, and how do you feel about it? And he was like, they're so good. And he went out of his way to say, hey, Todd Bowles has been amazing to watch operate. And Todd Bowles obviously had been a head coach before twice, I think Cardinals and Jets.
I believe,
Just Jets, or was he also?
No, I think it was both.
Cardinals and Jets. He's done that before. Now he's defensive coordinator. He's back in his wheelhouse, and he's winning Super Bowls. He's got a great team. I assume he's going to get plenty of head coaching opportunities going forward. Them locking him down is a good idea, I think, AJ.
Oh, it's a great idea. And they're only going to lose him, obviously, to a head coaching gig, but they want to reward him, too, because they let him know how valuable he is to that team. But chances are, within the next 3 years, if they continue to play well, he's going to become a head coach again. And that's the most crazy thing about, not the most crazy, but they got all their players back, all the starters back. But their coaching staff, I don't think anyone was pilfered from the staff either, were they?
No, and normally that would be the case. Whenever
always, the best teams, hey, this guy's going to be a coordinator somewhere. This guy's a coordinator. both our coordinators are interviewing for head coaching gigs. It's usually like that.
Yeah, position coach who's coming out of nowhere. Assistants like normally whenever you win, people are trying to poach. I mean, that is just like, hey, let's do it. Thanks. Bring what you did there to here. You know, like in all positions, people only get caught up in the head coaching and then sometimes the coordinators, but also the position groups, the things that happen. They're able to keep that core together. And I think it's because, you know, these guys have been coaching a long time, a lot of these guys have been around a long time. And now they have an all-star team. And they're like, it's Tampa, it's warm. We have a fucking all-star team. You can go be a head coach. We've all been there. Hey, literally all of us have had the opportunity to go be a head coach of somewhere. If we want to do that, let's do it. If not, like, I think we got a pretty fucking good gig right here.
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead and enjoy this thing. And I respect and appreciate that. You know, like sometimes a promotion at a different place isn't always as good as staying at the same place and having comfort and success and happiness and everything like that. Sometimes the grass isn't always greener when the greener might be a little bit bigger. You know what I'm saying? When the money's a little bit bigger elsewhere, maybe the grass isn't as always good. That's a good idea for them, BA, by the way, to keep everybody around.
Yeah, well, think about it. If let's say you're a position coach for Tampa and you're somewhat young and you get offered like a D coordinator job, I mean, anywhere, like at a middle of the road team that you know is not going to win a Super Bowl in the next 3 or 4 years, is that a promotion? Like, do you want to go take that or say, hey, I think I might hang out here until at least Tom decides to hang it up and then I'll go explore my my opportunity.
Okay, so I might win another 2 or 3 Super Bowls. Okay, do I want to go call all the plays for a team that I'm definitely going to get fired 3 years later? I don't know. There's a lot of that though, because the old school traditional thought I would assume is if you're a positional coach and you get offered a coordinator gig, you take that. Because after the coordinator is the head coaching gig. But I think now that we've all kind of realized that, hey, like life is to be enjoyed too a little bit here. You don't have to be just a robot there. If you get a chance to work in Tampa Bay around that team and you're getting paid pretty well for it and you like everybody you're working with, like there's a price tag that can't come with that. You know what I mean? And I think we all kind of have to deal with that on a day-to-day basis whenever we're making rather large business decisions. But, I mean, that's a real thing. I'm happy for Tampa, man. They got to – now, AQ didn't say this, and he wouldn't give me much, by the way, fucking Coach AQ.
Come on.
He's changed, huh?
Coach AQ.
How many laps has he had to run because, fights or something out there?
Yeah, well, that is fascinating to think of BA trying to tell me.
Hey,
BA runs a tough practice. Okay, BA, it is not easy. He does the periods are long, the drills are. He does. I just don't know how that would work with the coaching staff. Tom Moore being forced to do a lap would be awesome to watch. If you don't know who Tom Moore is, he literally backed up Johnny Unitas, and he is still. That's an actual quote, and he is still in the NFL coaching for Tampa Bay. It's just a different vibe there. It's a little bit different environment, I think, at Tampa, as opposed to some other places that are trying to build the culture, where Tampa just brought in one guy, and then everybody just kind of was like, yeah, we should just win. And then they just...
and they did.
Just did. That's a wild time. Also happening in the NFL, Quentin Nelson has had 3 surgeries this offseason. Ooh. So, AJ, I want to get your take on this. I led off the show with this. I was a little frustrated, but a man coming off of 3 rehabs is an angry human, I think. A miserable human. Is Quentin Nelson going to be better after he said, fuck that? There's no time for pity. Truth is, I'm thankful for the early part of the timetable. It says 5 weeks. It gives me 5 weeks to do everything I can to physically and mentally be ready to go week 1 to smash these goals. Do your job no matter what, DYJ and MW. I mean, that was motivating from Quentin Nelson. Maybe want to run through a wall, but thinking of a man who has to come out of 3 different rehabs, I mean, that is terrible, cruel, and unusual punishment to a guy for an offseason.
And he's going to be very, thankful when he gets back on the field. Anytime you're taken away from it, when you don't plan on it, especially, when you get back and there's something like something new, it just feels like, man, I've been waiting so long to get back out here, things that you may have taken for granted earlier. And got 3 surgeries. Do we know? Not all on his foot, though, right?
See, we didn't even know about the first 2 until this 3rd one came about, and I don't know how. How did we not know about that?
Under the radar. Even when you look it up now, you can't really find much on the first 2.
I mean, that's one of the greatest. He's going to go down as a Hall of Fame guard. He's going to go down as a Hall of Famer. He's a first-round draft pick here. Big star. People love him here, obviously, for good reason. How did we not know he had 2 surgeries?
Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy.
Were they just like, I don't want to say minor, but cleanups and
like
stuff
scopes
like
or whatever. You still have to rehab those. You still have to rehab.
Still get put out.
Yeah.
Still getting put under.
Yeah, and you still have to rehab them, and you still have to go through the entire process. And you tell me if I'm wrong on saying this. Anytime I came out of a rehab, I was in better shape, obviously, because literally you're working out like 3 times a day with a trainer or physical therapist. I was in better shape coming out of those rehabs than whenever I wasn't. Now, it was a miserable experience. Mentally, I wasn't probably in better shape than I was whenever I didn't have to do it. But because you're working out on your body so hard, it's like basically all you're thinking about all day. Maybe this will be, and I'm trying to think of a positive for this. He might be the best Quentin Nelson. We've a robo Quentin Nelson coming out of this entire thing.
Yeah, I mean, is there some sort of worry though that these types of injuries tend to linger in the 5 to 12 week period?
With a guy like Quentin Nelson, it doesn't.
Thank you, AJ. Go
There
ahead.
you go.
Please preach, AJ.
Somebody else that might. Somebody else that doesn't love it as much as Hammer isn't as big of a savage. At the end of that Instagram post, when he said can't to whatever. Get ready to go week 1 to smash these goals. All he really meant to say to smash these dudes.
Yes.
Every guy I play is dead. That's
He
all
had to
I'm saying.
delete dudes, by the way. I think he had it typed out. He had to go back, and he probably texted a friend or a family. How do I say, well, it's goals. You're trying, of course.
Okay. Boom.
Smash these
Thank
goals.
you.
All right. And I like that the fuck that is dash, because I assume in the same conversation about the goals, the dudes also said maybe put a couple dashes.
That work.
I love it. I don't know anything about this dude. Tried to have a conversation with him one time. It went terribly.
What happened? How'd it go?
It just not go well. It did not go well at all. Is there
any way to I would love to know the interaction. I see you interact with a lot of people, and it seems to go very well usually.
Yeah, usually I win people over after the first minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes straight that they're forced to talk to me. Not him though. He was not having it. He was not exactly. I mean, I complimented him early, and I think at that point he was. I don't know. A lot of people were complimenting him, I think, and he was sick of getting it because offensive line is a big, we thing. You know what I mean? So I think he hated because I think Conte maybe forced him to do the interview too. So I mean, it was. I don't know. I don't know what it was. Maybe he just hates me, which it could happen. I don't care. I don't want to be on the wrong side of him ever. I always just stay out of rooms, I guess. But he is an animal. He is so good at what he does. And go ahead.
He and Boogs on the same kind of wavelength when you interact with him.
Me and Boogs have good interactions. What are you talking about?
I know you say. I respect the fact that Quentin Nelson didn't. He knew he could probably fake it and oh yeah, hey man, big fan, yeah, love what you do. But he's like, no, why would I do that? And Boogs the same way. I feel like you bring more attention to that dude than anyone ever has, and he's amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
But I think he almost feels embarrassed by all the attention.
We're trying to put you over.
Did you hear the crowd in Minnesota carry it on?
No, I didn't go.
It's incredible.
Boogs needs and deserves and wants more spotlight, so I'm all about that. Now with Quentin, I think there was a chance that maybe he didn't enjoy that. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, but
this guy's good at football.
He wasn't so angry at you that he picked you up, though. That's when you know he actually doesn't like you.
I've
That was
heard some
different.
hysterical stories about his strength, though, just being on display in places.
Have you ever had anybody pick you up?
I guess, no, not me, but I heard a story one time, and I don't know where it happened at, but I guess there has been eyes on Quentin Nelson grabbing somebody by both arms and then just lifting them off the ground.
In the gym.
It's awesome. How awesome is that? He is literally Wreck-It Ralph. He is actually, he is just a guy who could just move, and he does, and when he was drafted, and I said this yesterday, everybody was like, what a reach for a guard. What a reach for a guard. And Chris Ballard was like, nah, you're going to love this guy. I'm telling you guys are judging me. And he picked up right where he left off at Notre Dame, right into the NFL. Literally, first snap, it was like, oh, there's a grown-ass fucking man.
Generational talent. Okay.
Let's hope he comes back healthy and better than ever. Art Rooney II, I believe,
Yes.
said that Big Ben... he has not written it in stone that this is his last year. Ben Roethlisberger, who approached the Pittsburgh Steelers, by the way, for less money, he said.
Yeah.
He had a new diet. He's different. All right. Big Ben's coming back. New offense coordinator, new team, same Ben. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slice and dice and play. Steelers team president Art Rooney II via Brooke Pryor of ESPN. He's saying, hey, maybe this isn't his last year. Maybe Big Ben's got 3 to 4 more years in him. I guess we all kind of have to wait and see how this year turns out. Hopefully it ends much differently than last year, AJ Hawk.
Well, yeah, maybe he saw Phil Rivers talk about a possible return. He's like, hey, I don't want to call this quits too early. I want to stick around until I really can't do it anymore.
This quote came before the LA Times farmer.
I bet he and Phil are in constant communication, probably.
Have to be.
Okay, you trying to bring up Phil Rivers potentially being an Indianapolis Colt again? All right, is that what you?
I mean, it was shame on you for trying to keep him away. Wow.
Fool me
Are
once.
you serious? You gonna tell Phil that to his face? He's 6'10".
What am I saying? What did I say? What did I say?
You're upset that I brought it up, that Phil's talking about it, and then you put this Peyton gif out.
No, well, this is a picture of the GIF.
Yeah.
It is not this entire time. It was more of my utter confusion. Like, what are we doing? Okay, Phil, I thought you had to go coach high school. You went to the playoffs last year. If you're not shutting the door, why aren't we playing for the Colts again and putting off high school football one more year? Or are you only saying this because you're slinging the pigskin around with your high school guys? And you're like, oh, I still got him hitting buckets in this thing. And you see Carson go down. You're like, I'll come back. Whatever the case is, it's like, hey, come on, Phil. Like we're learning now that you're potentially that motherfucker that Tom Brady was speaking about.
Yeah.
Whenever Tom Brady was allegedly, potentially, almost interested in the Colts, and I got behind Phil. Love Phil. Came on the show, did well, had success. But if we're not closing the door, why aren't we playing? Why aren't we up there? Why aren't we in training camp right now, then, Phil? After one more solid year, you know what? Why do we even get Carson?
Maybe he's thinking, hey, if the Rams end up stinking this year, I'll go down there, meet up with Sean Payton, and get them to the playoffs. I don't know if he's necessarily talking about the Colts, is he? I mean, we heard from Frank yesterday. It doesn't sound like Carson's going to have an extended absence.
Well, that's what everybody on the internet, TV saying this morning. Should the Colts trade for Nick Foles?
Ooh.
All right. Okay. Should the Colts welcome back Phillip Rivers is another conversation. It's like, Frank Reich told us yesterday without saying it that Carson's back before week 2. What are we even talking about? Now, Jacob Eason did have a bad day at practice, I heard.
Yes, he did.
He was kind of dropped in the fire a little bit. A foot from high school came back and, bit the starter in the ass. He was getting paid $100 million. But I guess he had a bad day yesterday, had a good day yesterday. He bounced back. It's his show now. But at Phillip Rivers, I hope all was well. I hope everything goes good. But if we're going to play again, why aren't we in training camp right now? Why is Carson Wentz even a Colt right now?
Well, that quote that he gave, they said he's not ruling out a late season comeback, meaning he can coach his high school team all year throughout the state finals. State finals are usually like first weekend in December, and then he can jump to an NFL team and go maybe try to win a ring.
I'll tell you what, if that happened, I'd be so happy for him because I thought about that a few times. I'm like, all right, once I get older, I can still kick a ball every once in a while. Maybe I just say, hey, I'm available like week 11 or 12 on.
Yeah.
Get to pick where I want to go. Somebody gets, hey, give me a league man. I don't care. I'm just trying to get a ring here. Just trying to get a ring. I'm going to go on a little 10-week run here. If Phil Rivers is able to accomplish that at the quarterback position, I was looking to do it at the punter position. If he's able to accomplish that at the quarterback position, I will be nothing short of impressed and put his ass in the Hall of Fame immediately upon that happening.
If Carson were to come back, and hopefully not, but he can't, he struggles or he gets hurt again, would you rather the Colts make a move for Jimmy G, or would you rather them go get Phillip Rivers?
Okay, so Jimmy G is 20-some million. That'd be $50-some million in the quarterback room.
Just like last year.
Just like last year. I mean, we just need a quarterback to get in there and do good.
Tell you what, you brought up Ben. And this maybe not the last season that he's going to have. Tell you what, Ben might not have that, be able to make that decision because the way that Dewey Haskins has been performing in camp, he may push him right out the door.
I heard Dwayne Haskins say this morning to the press, they said, is there an open competition for number 2? And Dwayne Haskins said, I'm trying to make it one. And media reports are saying Dewey Haskins, he's all the way back.
Oh, yeah.
They're saying Ohio State Dewey Haskins. Yeah. Now, Mason Rudolph, who is, I don't know him as a person, okay? I don't know him as a person. I know he pissed off one person one time more than I've ever seen somebody get pissed off in the history of getting pissed off about stuff. Now, I guess there are people who have got more pissed off who have done like murder and stuff, but I'm talking about in football.
Right.
I don't know Mason.
Almost murder.
Yeah, close. I mean, he was thinking of it.
Tried to murder him.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he ate that thing. So he has a good skull, I guess. He did eat a helmet.
Good guy, though, because he reads poetry.
Yeah, and all that. I mean, he rides bikes, too. I saw him. He was dating a bachelor something.
Dunking basketball, too.
He's a great athlete. Guy was a great quarterback, okay? But every time he's got – what's that? What'd you say that for?
But they both, Myles Garrett and Mason Rudolph, as one, can both dunk a basketball.
Oh, okay. All right. So anyways, but Mason Rudolph, every time he's gone into an NFL game, he seems to have stunk at football.
Yeah.
And maybe it's just a learning curve. Maybe the offense wasn't that good to begin with, and maybe Ben was covering up a lot of things, and Mason got thrown in there. Mason's starting Thursday night Hall of Fame game for the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are favored to win, I believe, against the Dallas Cowboys. Mason Rudolph needs to know that when he takes that high school field in Ohio, there's a guy who went to school at Ohio State who's waiting to get on that high school field and going to light it up. The only bet I got for this is the over for 32.5.
No.
The Cowboys are getting 1.5 points. The Steelers minus 1.5 points, obviously. Moneyline minus 130 for the Steelers, plus 110 for the Dallas Cowboys. Mike McCarthy playing against his hometown team, okay, with the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott will not be playing for the Dallas Cowboys. Does that mean Zeke will also not be playing and others? TBD. The only thing I like is the over 32.5, mostly because of how loud Connor has been for the under. But also, once you start putting some points together, Boswell is going to hit at least 2 field goals. He's going to hit at least 2 field goals. Dewey Haskins is going to throw at least 1 touchdown. Let's assume Najee Harris runs for 1. There, basically, you already got it covered on the Steelers side. And then as soon as you start talking about the Cowboys, there'll be some touchdown that'll happen out of nowhere. Is CD playing?
Yeah, Mitt said CD's playing.
Over 32.5 feels like the bet. It's at minus
CD
1.
will play 1 series.
Thank you.
Score a touchdown.
Tell him, Hawk. Tell him.
I still would want to take the over on that. But I mean, yeah, there's a good chance the game could end up like 17-10 or something. Like it's either going to be 48-42 or something like something.
Take
low
the
score.
over, Paul. That's a great bet.
Okay, so the Gumpy pillow in the back. That is not the hottest gambler on earth, although it sounded and looked like him. There will be some fluke touchdowns too that'll happen at the end. I just feel like if we're starting the season Hall of Fame game betting unders, what type of fucking tone are we setting for the season?
Hey, you're trying to win bets. It doesn't matter if it's a bet that you don't want to hit. Look, and you're talking about fluke touchdowns.
I'm not trying to win bets. I'm trying to fucking enjoy the game and put my willpower into the game.
No matter what, by halfway through the first quarter, this game's going to stink. I mean, let's not act like the preseason.
No, I agree. They're going against you, but you're right. This game is going to be awful. But if Dewey Haskins is playing, once he gets subbed in that crowd, they're going to be,
Listen, you guys.
What's up?
Oh, sack of shit.
Hey,
come on.
You guys take this game?
Huh?
You guys talk shit on this game tomorrow night?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before you know it, Lamb's is going to come in and take them all away. If you guys treat this game like if it's just another game.
Could you just bring up Lambda?
Don't put that
First playoff
Take
game.
all the preseason games.
First preseason game in 2 years.
No, I agree. And I'm
Dewey.
pumped to see the kickoff, and I'm pumped to see the first couple plays and the pageantry.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, it is normally right there about the second quarter, maybe a minute and 2 or into the second quarter where I go, oh, yeah, this fucking stinks, this football.
You going to watch the game or shot put?
So I have a question about that. Thank you for bringing this up, Diggs, and good pivot there, Diggs. Why does shot put fucking matter? I mean, I listen, I hope we win.
Yeah.
And we got a guy.
We need to win.
Okay, we got a guy. There's a guy from Purdue, I guess, that's in that thing. But they were hyping it up. And the more and more highlights they showed, the less and less I could be like, this matters, you know? And I guess the good part of it is we're obviously carrying on tradition. You know, like sports are doing our history a favor and service and justice for what it used to be and what it has become and everything like that. But it is hard for me to take that one serious. I just don't know how this, they're yoked, by the way, the people that do it. But there has to be somewhere else they can use that strength, isn't there? And now that we're learning they're making no money doing this thing and they're throwing it whatever it is, I'm not 100% sure about the shot put. Javelin, okay, now we're throwing things.
Yeah.
Baseball, home runs, basically.
What about discus?
Discus, cool, awesome. The shot put thing, though, I watched this thing, and it's like, all right,
Come on.
I guess it's an incredible display of explosion, and I appreciate that.
It's not great for TV. I would agree because they use so much power, but the thing is so heavy. It just on TV it doesn't translate very
And it
well.
looks like it's this big, and it's like, okay, there has to be somebody on Earth that can throw the thing further than this.
Our guy, Ryan Krauser, he is minus 950 to win gold. He has the world record at 77 feet, pretty much. That's
Okay,
how far they're throwing.
can you tell me how many meters that is, though? Can somebody do the math on
Divided
that?
by 3, it's about 26 meters-ish.
Meter?
Yeah.
Meters close to a yard. 3.3, I believe,
Yeah,
actually.
it's 3.3.
So then that's a whole third. I mean, that's a lot. That's a pretty big change on 77, isn't it? I mean, there's a lot of carryover for that 0.3.
Yeah, 25 and a half.
24.
So how many meters is it? Because I saw like a 14 meter.
24.7.
23.3.
Oh! 23.3 mirrors is a hell of a huck. Listen,
Yeah,
I'm
he's
impressed
got
by it. I'm happy we got the guy. I'm betting on him. Minus 950. I'll put Buck on that. I'm paying FanDuel. All right, afterwards. I love that. But watching it, that's been the one where it's been speed walking you. I'm like, okay, I mean, there's a place for it. The fucking shot put, I don't think I fully get it.
The track and field just simply has not really delivered.
Whoa.
Well,
I disagree.
No, I know what you're going to say about, what we saw last night and everything.
Sydney McLaughlin, 21 years old. How you doing? Keep it moving. World record. Muhammad, also world record. Nobody will remember that. Silver last night, both out of New Jersey. Plus the top thing, Mo out of New Jersey. Ooh. New Jersey might be the fastest piece of real estate on fucking earth, and nobody wants to talk about it. That is what track and field is all about. And we also got a guy, Danny Allen, I think is his name. Maybe Danny Allen, something Allen. He did a full robot after winning. He did a full whole thing. I'm like, okay, we got a fucking guy, it seems like here. What are you talking about? And javelin. I mean, people are throwing lawn darts 700 feet or something like that. I mean,
that's
better test.
2 particular finals in the last 6 days or so. I tell you what, once gymnastics and swimming was over, my World Games fever, it broke big time.
Unfortunately, we didn't.
Yeah, I'm done with it.
No,
I'm done with
this
it.
This was a play that had 2 acts. Listen, in the middle there was a little bit of a break.
Tell me what's left then.
We can still win gold in baseball. That's
shot put Ryan Newman tonight.
The throwing events, I think pretty sure the throwing events are still left.
Yeah.
Got the finals for.
I will watch Ryan Newman tonight.
No.
See you in the number 12
in track.
What's his name? Ryan what?
Newman.
Krauser.
Paul Newman.
Oh, that guy.
The shot put, yes, please.
Ryan Krauser.
Ryan Krauser's tonight. You hear me, AJ? This guy is the most explosive human on earth. He can move a rock that looks to be about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds on television that actually weighs 200 pounds. 23.7 feet. I mean, let's have a little bit of respect. It's tough to watch. It is very tough to watch, but there's a lot to still keep out there. And,
hey, you know what they could do? That we need to contrast that. We need to bring in some other normal human that doesn't throw the shot put and say, hey, look, this is how far this person throws it. Now look how much better our Olympian is.
Every sport, they should do that.
Yes.
Have the commentators, have the commentators get down there and film them throwing next to him.
I think every sport, maybe Tirico, we need him for his interviews. That one with Simone Biles was awesome last night, by the way. Hey, Simone, let's go, huh? Hey, great to see you. Congrats on the bronze. She left the door open for 2024.
Let's go.
Let's go. Hey, let's go ahead and do that. A lot of people feel probably like the biggest pieces of shits of all time after hearing everything she has said since they were burying her that. But I think there should be a casual in every. Imagine when I turn on that Taekwondo on USA Network and 18-year-old Anastasia Zolotich was doing her thing, and I had no idea what was happening. During a commercial break, they go picture in picture, and they go, by the way, this is what normal human looks like in Taekwondo. And it is Anastasia Zolotich literally lifting up her leg that might be 7 feet long and just hitting a guy's head off. I mean, this is what it normally looks like. So what you're watching here is high level. Sprinting, same thing. Have Connor out there running.
In the pool.
Yeah, and we got enough of the, in the pool. Put them under the water. Because they can create those animations of what a normal human would look like.
Smart.
Have Connor's shadow running and swimming. Yeah, we need that. We'll do that for the next Olympics. We'll send in our comments in our opinions. I think they'll take them serious. I think they will.
NBC. There's definitely a lot of NBC execs taking notes right now.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently they're getting crushed, so they should be.
NBC is for their coverage?
Yeah.
Wait, aren't they just saying viewership is down, or are they saying NBC is doing a bad job?
Both.
It's a bad job. Yeah. Yesterday they have their guys chiming in over the people who are commentating, and it really is a shit
people
show.
Don't know where and when to watch.
That's the big thing.
And handball is impossible to find, and that's one of the most electrifying sports. The picking and choosing of what the primetime events are on all the channels is very fascinating.
Yeah.
And Peacock, it's not easy to find a full shit either. No. So they're going to have to go back to the drawing board. We have some ideas. Hopefully they'll listen. 4-minute break. 1-833-4-McAfee will hit the 5-hour energy phone lines. AJ, you excited to talk to people out there?
Oh, I couldn't be more excited. Wednesday, we always get the best calls.
Oh, we do. You're right. We had Phil earlier. Well, that was actually Tuesday, though. That was a Tuesday call.
Do you count it today?
How was your golf round today?
I didn't make it. We're back in 4 minutes.
MCDC name tag then? Because it's a long time. ACDC. Do you hate it? Do you love it? I feel like we potentially offended you after finding out you're a diehard Metallica guy and we call you MCDC.
No. Listen, I love classic rock as well. So. I don't strike you as a numbers guy.
Yeah, whenever I heard you, I was just like, you know what? I'm not 100% sure this guy is just going to be listening strictly to the analytics guy. I just kind of a feel I had.
I got through addition and subtraction. Look, the alpha comment was really, I wasn't directing that just at myself. I was saying that's Brad too. Brad's an alpha. That's our coaching staff. I mean, let me say this about our coaching staff. One of the reasons I made the hires that I did with these guys, I know you'll probably end up asking this, was because just coming out of this COVID, I wanted to make sure we had more flexibility with the roster. And if these coaches need to play maybe a couple of games, so not everybody's thinking that way.
All right, it seems like every 3-4 years the Lions get a new head coach. It seems like the rebuilding process has been happening my entire life. 26 years old and I've never seen a playoff win for the Detroit Lions. So I want to know how you and your coaching staff plans to make this one different.
Yeah, look, first of all, I think I love Foxy, man. I tell you what, I love the optimism that he brings. Look, I would say this, to me, the short answer is Sheila Ford Ham. If you want hope, she's the one who's bringing the hope. Because I had put serious thought into this as I was hiring my staff. I was thinking about hiring you to see if you would like to be, our special teams coach. And then I thought, you know what, I know you doing this radio, it softened you up a little bit. I chose not to. All right, I hate to say that, Pat, but I needed to just let that be known.
Well, I want to let you know, true alphas know when to hang them up. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Carroll.
A couple people, one college kid, took a shot at my swag.
We noticed.
We know. We don't like that
I
kid.
don't think a lot of people understand what swag is. Some of this younger generation thinks, swag is just like the clothes I wear or whatever. No. Swag is a mentality.
Yeah.
Swag is a mindset. I tried to tell this to some of the guys in the locker room this week. I said, swagger, which is what swag comes from. Swagger is a mindset. Swagger isn't that you have a Supreme backpack on. Or that you have your shoes, unlaced walking around with, you got your new Louis fanny pack that you make sure it's not worn at your waist, it's worn over your shoulder. That's not swag. That's not swagger. That's fashion choices. True swag is owning your inner essence. It's a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And my essence on the field is that I feel like I'm a throwback player and I'm a tough guy. What I've played through, how I wear my stuff, I'm kind of a no-nonsense, straightforward. To me, that's what swag is all about.
You're damn
all
right.
this like fake swag out there. I got my special towel. I got this. Or I got that. I got this writing out there. A lot of you guys are just posing.
All right.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Welcome back here on Sirius XM and YouTube.com/The Pat McAfee Show. And now that the world's opening back up, AJ?
Yep, it's wide open, right?
Well, all right, I can't even read these. Come on. Hey,
I sent you the stats the other day.
Yeah, well, it ain't about that. All right, what is? All right, well, it is. All right, it is. Sorry, I did not mean what I just said. All right, I think actually I did. No, I didn't.
You get it.
I mean, that's a deep thing that I just said right there, and I didn't mean to potentially dive that deep into the waters. But I don't think the only thing I'm judging off of
not only the toxic hawk here, who's just like, oh, is it? Anytime he starts saying that, I feel like he has a pretty good inkling as well. But it is making its way back into my very, very, very procured timeline. And it is not easy to make its way in there. And now all of a sudden, fucking Lambda is coming into the party.
Boom.
And Delta's like, what's up, dude? We got VIP back here. Delta Plus, this son of a bitch is filling up. And then Lambda's like, no big deal. We're bringing an entirely new aspect. We fight the vaccines. What? What the fuck, dude? What is going on out here?
No commercials with Delta Plus. It's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, well, Delta Plus does give you more leg room, but I think in this particular case, it fucking wow.
There's two guys that'll let us know what we need to know. Dr. Florio and Mr. Fauci.
I think let's get to the 5-hour energy film. We'll keep an eye out. All right? That was the hottest gambler in the history of gambling, by the way.
That's right.
Actually, there has probably been somebody that has been hotter than you, but I'm not sure if it's been for like 5 straight months.
No chance, pal. I'm the best thing going.
And by the way, that is not, once again, that is not actually Gumpy, although it does look like him and sound like him. Let's go to Rex in Texas on the 5-hour NG phone line. What's going on, Rex?
Man, jeez.
Rex, you're doing great.
He bleep himself.
What do you want to talk about,
Rex?
Rex.
Well, howdy, let's get rowdy, boys. I just wanted to talk about the Arizona Cardinals a little bit,
All right, let's do it. We talked about them the other day as potentially being the long shot to get in there and win the whole thing if they can get better like they were trying to last year, even though they lost me a lot of money. Is that your thoughts, Rex?
My thoughts are you've got someone that, like DeAndre Hopkins, top receiver. You got Larry Fitzgerald coming back for his 87th season. You got K1. You got Chandler Jones. You got Jason.
We don't know Chandler Jones.
Know what he's talking about.
Rex, did you just get back from the moon, pal? There's a lot has happened, Rex. I don't think Chandler Jones is necessarily all in. I know Larry Fitzgerald is only signed up for Monday Conversations with Tom Brady and Jim Gray on Sirius XM. Do you know something we don't, or have you just been kind of under a rock for a bit, which, by the way, I got a lot of respect for?
Might be the Rock thing, but that's not why I think they're gonna. I worry about Cliff Kingsbury because I grew up about an hour and a half from Texas Tech, so I had to watch all my smart friends who went to college suffer every fucking weekend when they lost. Do you think Handsome Man can get it done?
Rex, I appreciate that boots on the ground reporting. In the history, that was good. I mean, he missed the first entire thing, but I did wonder that because Patrick Mahomes was there, right?
Yeah.
And now that we know what Patrick Mahomes is, they didn't win. What happened there?
Great question.
And I'm not bashing Cliff Kingsbury because I assume he'll continue to get better as an NFL coach, but I think him getting a head coaching gig before a lot of other people raised a lot of eyebrows and a lot of question marks. Now, they're going to have to be good. His house is beautiful, but how did they not win with Patrick Mahomes there, I wonder?
Their defense always stunk. Their defense would give up like 56 points a game. They'd just get in shootouts and get beat. I mean,
so is that on the coach? Is that on?
Well, I think so, but I mean, like their
can't play D in the Big 12.
Yeah,
it's so tough to play D in the Big 12. Like I called some of those games with FS1 back in the day. Yeah, talking to those D coordinators, like, well, good luck. Let's hold them under 50 and hope we win.
Yeah, because that was when the air raid offense too is wide open over there. Lynch and from Hal Mummy.
Yep.
Then to Leach. Then to, I think Dana might have been the next one, but he went over to West Virginia. And then everybody else underneath. They just went full air raid there. And the Big 12 had to catch up. The RPOs, I think, were heavy over there before everybody else. And there was a lot of points being scored. I don't know, man. Has the guy won?
No.
In life, he has. Have you seen that?
Oh, yeah. He wins every day.
Hey, he walks in front of a mirror, though, and he's just got to be like, fucking A, dude.
Well,
all right.
Now the defense really isn't an issue anymore. Like, his defense is good, so it kind of is all on him if the offense isn't good. You know, like, you can't fall back on that anymore.
Once again, Chandler Jones, is he playing there this year? Did they figure that out?
He's been at training camp. He's been practicing with the team.
But has it been an Xavier Howard type thing where I'm here, but I ain't? Is that what it's been or no?
I thought Xavier Howard stopped, and he stopped practicing.
Yeah, but
that's a hold in.
That's a hold in. They are working towards a restructure of the contract.
Is that what it's called? A hold in? A sit down? What's it called?
They're saying it could a hold in. It could be a thing that happens more because holding out, it just doesn't work anymore. You get fined $50K a day. So if you go there, I guess you could say, "Oh, I tweaked my hammy. You're not gonna practice," but it's a hold in.
Yeah, man. I think I woke up this morning, and as I was walking in the building, so it was here at work, I hit my head off the door, a little dizzy. think I'm going to be out.
Sorry.
What if guys started doing that? That could happen, by the way. And there's nothing that could be proven otherwise. Like legit.
Yeah.
I wonder
they could dispute that you did it on their property because I'm sure there's cameras everywhere.
Roll the tape.
Roll the tape. I hit it right off the door.
You'll
on
see
the way
it.
in. You'll see it. I
You
tried to
actually
open it,
really have to
somebody
knock
hit
your
it.
head off the door. You have to commit.
I don't know, but the hold-ins are going to get uncomfortable, and they're going to happen. They're already happening. It's the first year of this. It's only going to grow. Hopefully, that'll be figured out as well, because none of us want to talk about it. All right, I hope everybody gets $1 billion. Let's try to make it happen. We're back in 6 minutes. We will never do that. Cheers.
Should we just make it real? Should we just say, hey, we're done, we're riding off into the sunset? I mean, do you want it to be live on your show that Vinny's officially done? Is that what you want?
I don't want that, but if it's going to happen, happy it's happening.
Yeah.
I would like that to be known. So don't feel obligated. Don't feel forced.
Put it this way. Hey, let me see. Today is Wednesday. By Friday, if paperwork goes in, you heard it here first.
First of all, congratulations on a legendary fucking career, dude. In a game that revolves around the score, okay? That's how they pick winners and losers, is in a game in which they keep score. To be the all-time leading scorer in scoring sport, I think many would say, hell of a fucking job. Yeah! Unbelievable. South Dakota kid, you didn't have an easy way either. You went over to Virginia to train. You're a high school teacher, I think, or a substitute teacher. Then you go to the World League over in Amsterdam. Somehow survived the off-the-field activities that you could have fallen into. Stayed focused on kicking. Go into New England. Beat out Matt Barr at some point, even though he had an incredible career. Win Super Bowls. Memorable moments. Biggest moments in the sports history revolve around your foot in a lot of cases. Congratulations, man. You're the fucking best. I was honored to be your teammate. The NFL is implementing the Hawkeye replay system, which has the smart technology, which is synchronized multi-angle replay technology, which allows the ref to view all of the shots and angles of a certain play at the same damn time, as opposed to what they've been doing all along, which is TV producers deciding what replays they see when. Are you kidding me?
Unbelievable.
What? Now, we know a lot about these TV producers, okay?
Yeah.
I couldn't see Joey Josh Chestnut eat his 76th fucking hot dog, all right? Bullshit. On 4th of July to break his own record because of a production. Mm-hmm. We've seen a lot of other rather terrible decisions made in television and broadcasting of games made. Those same people now, I'm learning, were the people that were deciding what angles the 95-year-old refs in the NFL were getting to see. This is absurd. Thankful that the XFL, who had the Hawkeye smart technology, synchronized multi-angle replay technology, either created, invented, or used from other places, like tennis has this, I believe. I like that we're expediting the replay system. I like that we're getting up with the times. Replay should be an asset to the NFL, as opposed to what it is, which seems to be a burden. The pass interference replay thing, because of how terrible they botched the execution of that, it probably will never be brought up or thought about again, because fans will be able to say, oh, remember when they did that last time? It's like, no, remember how they executed that last time. The replay system is run by people who have not a lot of experience with maybe quick, slow-mo, fast forward, maybe just content being in their face all day, every day. I like that we're making this better. It's better for the game. It's better for everybody. There's a lot of money on the line. Let's not let an opportunity pass where we can utilize technology to make sure the right shit gets done. Let's just do it in a much more efficient fashion. I've always felt that way, AJ.
Well, it's much more efficient, but it makes me question, how did we go this long to where a TV producer is controlling what replays, what angles you're going to see, for the referee, that kind of blows my mind when you think about it.
Yeah, I read it yesterday and I almost axled my pants.
Yeah.
I didn't, because I'm an adult, but you get it.
Right. I don't know. I bet you have in the last 5 years.
No, I haven't, but I
There was that one time where I thought it was going to be a sound, and it was actually action.
Yeah, a little close. That's a different story, though.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't a full axle, I don't think.
Yeah, no, sharding is not
You didn't
pooping.
step
your
in
pants.
it.
Whoa, I have a little couth, huh, for the goddamn good of the show. But speaking of that, I was quite alarmed whenever I read that TV producer. I'm like, the same people that are making a lot of the decisions that we get a chance to witness every single week are the same people that are deciding whether or not a play that I have a lot of money riding on potentially is overturned or not. I am not about that.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show, Hour 3 with AJ Hawk, the Hammer Down Boys, and everybody else in studio. We'll begin immediately following this beat drop from Twine. Welcome back. Not a bad first couple hours. Hopefully this hour will be much, much better and professional. We apologize if it got off the rails in the last couple hours. That's going to happen when you're dealing with a human like AJ Hawk. We try to keep those things going straight on a daily basis. He tries to drive us off. And that is why it is such a terrible show that hopefully people will continue to watch and listen to. AJ, there is some breaking news happening in the world of sport. Dr. Florio is reporting on Pro Football Talk that the Panthers have said that they are now keeping an eye on the Deshaun Watson situation down in Houston. So the Panthers are obviously a team that was allegedly interested in getting Deshaun Watson back to Carolina, where he's obviously had massive amounts of success and a lot of fans. But with the situation going off the field, that is so serious with so many legal ramifications. So many legal ramifications. Yeah. I have no idea how this whole thing is even happening still. It seems like there's a hold-in happening with him in Houston because he doesn't want to play there. He's fourth string. He has to be there. There's a lot of situations like that. Panthers are one of the teams. I didn't know there was teams legitimately still interested in the entire thing. Ian Rappaport's been saying this entire time. Teams are still interested, AJ.
Wait, so an actual, somebody from the Panthers publicly said we're still keeping an eye on it?
Tweet just got sent out.
Pro Football Talk reported that, yeah.
They're reporting it. So
I would imagine, though, Carolina, even if Carolina is keeping an eye on it, if they are somewhat interested, if everything gets worked out, why would you want that out there? That's not going to help Sam Darnold.
Yeah, and Sam Darnold got his fifth-year option picked up, and he's going into his first season down there, and it's been heralded as a celebration of him getting out from beneath the Adam Gase umbrella, which Ryan Tannehill found massive success in doing so in Tennessee. People are thinking the same for Sam Darnold. His price tag is not as big, though, as everybody. Even picking up the fifth-year option, it's not as huge as some starting quarterbacks could warrant or be at this exact point because Sam Darnold is still on his first contract, and we don't know yet, by the way. We have no idea. I think that's why a lot of us were excited to see him down in Carolina, but the thought of it getting out that they're still thinking about Deshaun Watson, if you're Sam Darnold, has to be a little disheartening, but I think he knew whenever he went there, he got traded to go there 1 year after they paid Teddy Bridgewater to be their quarterback. They've been very open in public that, hey, we are absolutely
not going to settle until we find what we want. And we're going to move quick. We got a lot of money. We got the richest owner in the NFL. We are going to build an entirely new culture here. They're going to have to figure out how this whole thing pans out in Houston, but they're very interested in a QB for QB trade. Maybe Sam Darnold goes down to Houston with Coach Dave and Jack Easterby and the boys.
I mean, is that something that we think is a possibility for this season? Like Deshaun Watson suiting up?
There's no way, right, AJ? We talk about this on air, off air. We don't get to see you in person really ever, but I assume that you're having the same thoughts as us. How does he play? I understand he's very good at football. Deshaun Watson's very, very good at football, but there has not been a lot of noise off the field at all, and it seems like a lot of noise was there, and then it just kind of went away. But that's still there.
Maybe that's good. I mean, maybe that's what it seems like. Things, I don't know, behind the scenes are progressing at some point, right? Maybe it's good that for Deshaun, that we're not hearing much because they're working behind the scenes to get everything ironed out. I just don't know. There seems like there's too many allegations. There's too many people involved.
And we continue to have the same exact stance anytime something new comes out. I am dumbfounded about how there is still, he is still being expected to show up at work and go to practice. Yeah. And they still want him in the build, he still has to be in the building, but he doesn't want. He wants traded. Plus, there is real life shit that is super, super serious happening at the same time. I mean, that is a very confusing situation.
Well, in the NFL running their investigation too, and then that Lisa Friel leaving, that's not good. But even if there's 20 plus cases and one of them it comes out and he's guilty, it's even then, how can he even play?
Yeah, that is still very fucking real. Very serious, very terrible, not something you want in the NFL or associated the NFL with your franchise definitely as well. I don't know. It's very fascinating. I guess we'll just kind of have to see it go. Another big news story is offensive lineman, 30 years old from the New York Giants, retires one day after the entire team was asked to run sprints and do push-ups. This is the least surprising thing I have heard in a long, long time. I think he potentially heard what we were saying yesterday and said, these motherfuckers are right. And maybe he's not a vocal person. Maybe he's not somebody that's going to speak in the middle of that, we should not be doing this. But I love the fact that it seems like Joe Looney, who signed with the team on Saturday, after that practice went into the locker room and said, I ain't about to do that fucking shit ever again. I am an adult. I am 30 years old. They're saying that he said that his body just can't do it anymore at the age of 30 and what he wanted to do. I wonder if those are push-ups and 100-yard sprints at that age because he never would have expected to do it in full pads, or if that's actually how he's feeling in the game, and it just so happens to be conveniently timed immediately after what happened yesterday.
I mean, just a couple days after signing with the team. So if he was on the fence thinking about, should I stick it out and try to figure out this whole camp? It's how I feel every camp. I'm sure he may have been thinking that. And then all of a sudden those push-ups and those laps around the field started that he probably hasn't done since he was in maybe 4th grade, 5th grade when he got punished. And that is what may have pushed him over the edge into retirement.
Imagine him just walking in, to the practice, got his helmet in his hand, he's like, what's going on, boys? Good to see everybody. How we doing? We getting after it today? Oh, man, I'm pumped to put this thing back on. It's been some time. And then all of a sudden, as practice is going, he's like, I'm a little tired, eh? Wow. And then all of a sudden, everybody on the fucking line. What is going on here? We're running hundreds right now? What happened? Imagine him just getting completely blindsided by the entire operation, just being like, no, whoa. No, I'm out of here. I'm retiring tomorrow.
Hey, and you know what also put him over the edge? He's probably looking around. Everybody's like, hey, man, is this what we do? I've been in situations like that at times where guys come from somewhere. It's like, are we seriously banging like this today on Wednesday during the season? Yeah, man, this is kind of what happens here.
And Joe's like, I just got here Saturday. There's no way I can be the one that speaks, right? Looking around like, who's saying something right now? I just got here. I can't. What the fuck's going on, coach? Hey, fucking run, Joe. You just fucking got here. Oh, all right. Okay. Here we go. Right. I'm not going to be here for What a scene over there. I said this morning on Greeny.
Ooh.
Yeah, it streams on ESPN Plus and also ESPN Radio.
Here we go.
I was asked to be on this morning, 10:15 Eastern Daylight Time. It was nice to chat with my old friend Mike Greenberg.
Video? Were you on video?
No, I was just literally, hey, I took a trip back in time today. It was just a call in, just a simple call, just only voice. It was They said they were having issues with their FaceTime or whatever. It felt pretty cool to be back in the day there.
Yeah.
But literally, what I was talking about. Oh man, I just got trapped there. What were we leading to?
Joe Looney.
The Giants. Yeah, the fight.
Yeah.
The fight. I thought with all that shit happening, how everybody's thinking that they're being torn apart, I think they're more together than ever. And Joe Looney was obviously didn't feel like he should have spoke up. And maybe, I don't know, I'm putting words in his mouth. Maybe he just didn't think he had it anymore, like he said, one day after all that shit happens. But nobody's saying no and not doing it, and nobody not gathering around Judge, and there not being a big scene. I think that bodes well for the Giants, actually, after the fight. Now, I don't know why Danny Dimes is in the middle of a goddamn fight. But I think that bodes well for them. Don't you kind of feel the same way?
I think it absolutely bodes well for them. And anyone that was on the team before Joe Judge got there, I'm sure they knew coming in, like, all right, we know that this guy coming from the Patriots, like, this is going to be no joke. We're going to practice hard, but I'm sure everything I hear about Joe Judge, like, if you do your job, if you work hard, if you do the right things, you're fine. Like, he's going to take care of you. Like, that's how a lot of coaches are that may be really, really demanding. If you do the right thing, man, he's going to be okay.
People are saying this was the hit that started the entire altercation. It is, he did get decleated and everything like that. Let's assume that there had been other hits or hits that were late, and maybe that was just supposed to be a thud drill, which you're supposed to square somebody up, and there was a lead to things. There's just so many things that could have led to that particular play build up behind it that caused an absolute melee, obviously. But, yeah, I'm not 34-year-old me on that team. I don't think is good, and that's what Joe said. Like, hey, maybe if I was 22 down here, maybe I'd do this whole thing. But they have to build a culture over there, legit. And there's different ways to succeed. Some are much more fun. Some are more player-friendly. Some are much different. If they have success over there, I think that's all that really matters. Because like Rich Rod said, when I have fun? Well, we're kicking somebody's fucking ass. Hell yeah. And that is...
it's true.
It's true. In the NFL and in football, when you win, it cures everything. And that is really what it's all about. If they can win, all this shit doesn't matter at all. Now, if they lose, it's going to be tough to keep getting people to, buy in and hit. It's going to be tough to get guys to continue to do that if you're losing. If you're winning, though, it's great. And that's kind of been the Belichick coaching tree issue, right? A lot of guys kind of go and do that hard-nosed thing. They don't win. It's hard to keep the team whenever we'll buy in if we think there's a chance of winning. You've proven to win. But then as soon as that doesn't come to fruition, it's like, hey, fuck off. How about that? We tried this once. It didn't work. I'm not doing it again. All right? And it's a nightmare. You can have that potential feel. And that's been the Belichick coaching tree, I think.
Well, that would be the hard thing about becoming a head coach and wanting to instill your culture and everything. Like, you don't have that. You better win early because you don't have a whole lot of time before you do lose the team, especially depending on how many vets are on that team. Yeah, if you come out of the gates and you're 1-7, like, good luck getting those guys in November to run laps during practice and after practice.
And if you're an asshole, right? And I'm not saying Joe Judge is an asshole to his players. I have no idea what it's like behind closed doors. There's coaches that can coach hard on the field and also have relationships with the players off the field. I don't know Joe Judge well enough, but if you're like an asshole coach and that's like kind of your thing, like, hey, I do not want to have a relationship with it, and you also lose, you can see how the natural human reaction is like, oh, this guy's a fucking asshole and he stinks. All right. Like, you can see how that is a natural reaction by anybody, not just professional athletes, because I think a lot of people go, oh, of course, NFL players don't want to listen to their coach or whatever. It's like pretty natural reaction potentially to be like, oh, this guy is an asshole and he's not good at what he does, and my life is much worse because of it. You can see how there's a natural, can we get somebody different in here? Yeah. Is there any way we could do that? Fans feel it. They see it. The Detroit Lions with Matt Patricia is literally the blueprint of this entire
to a T, and that's why like B-Flow is so much different, because I feel like Flores kind of a prick, but also loves his players and is willing to run to the other sideline to fight the Bengals if he has to.
And the ref, he almost fought a ref, which I enjoyed, but he did cut everybody, and they have changed things up. I guess.
I don't know.
What?
To your point, I don't know what's going on, but at least in his first season, he's had more success.
Hey, very fascinating that B-Flow comes from New England, hires a guy, pays him a bunch of money, cuts him, still pays him, and now he's playing for New England again.
Hey, go back home.
It is kind of weird how that works.
What's that all about, Gump? He wouldn't be. B-Flow, we like B-Flow, right? He's bringing...
I trust B-Flow. I love B-Flow.
It's got a revolutionary offense.
I would, too.
Hey.
Hey.
I'm starting... I don't say this often, I'm starting to believe in the Finns.
Oh, you said it last year, like I think 7, 8.
Was it Tua's bomb? I saw a clip of
What's that?
Tua threw a bomb in practice. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, he's slinging it all around. Hey, that hip's fixed. He's all the way back. He's much more comfortable. He's in better shape than ever. He's slinging the rock. And allegedly, the new offense, which remember the previous offense coordinator had to retire because Gumpy said something publicly,
that's right.
terribly
Got him out of
about him.
town.
Yeah, so he made him retire. New offense coordinator. I guess there's plays, schematics that are making players be open as opposed to just players getting open. So now the offense is helping out Tua, their reporting. And also media is not allowed to film anything, which I love, by the way. I like that a lot. The fact that we couldn't get the Giants fight, I love it. It stinks as sports media and as fans, but for the team, I love it because what are these plays that they have been putting in where guys are wide open? Because this is the NFL and guys train as well. Could be revolutionary down there in Miami with Tua.
It's always nice to get rid of a playbook from 1972.
Whoa. Chan Gailey dedicated his entire life to this fucking sport.
He was great. His time was up. His time was up.
Well, like we did to COVID, Gumpy danced on Chan Gailey's coaching
every
grave.
week.
Big time.
I like that you came to his defense, though. You came to Chan Gailey's defense right away. His family thanks you as well.
Well, that's because Chan Gailey's family had to have heard Gumpy say the things that he was saying about Chan Gailey.
big time.
And I'm like, this guy has committed his entire being to the sport. Like, let's show a little appreciation.
He was a great coach at one point, many moons ago.
To Gumpy's point, too, maybe Gailey's kids were like, yeah, fucking finally someone's saying our dad stinks. Maybe he'll make it home for a birthday or something.
Oh,
geez.
I never said that.
That's the NFL.
I never said
that's
that.
the NFL coaching life. It's the realistic, expectations with it.
Hey, that's business, baby. Let's talk about this is your team now, guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
We all saw the beautiful image, but it was a video. But I don't know how to pretend. Picture? Scene. Though we all saw the beautiful scene at the end of the New Orleans Saints magical Drew Brees era run when it came to an end on the sideline. Tears in Drew Brees' eyes, fighting back a full breakdown because he knew that it was no longer his time to be the king of New Orleans. The baby cakes for Mardi Gras were no longer going to be in honor of Drew Brees in the Super Bowl that he brought to that beautiful city down there. No, the mayor is going to dance on Drew Brees' grave on the way out of New Orleans. Drew knew it was no longer Drew Orleans. It was going to be changed. And in that scene, in just 5 to 6 seconds maybe, we saw Drew Brees doing a 1 for me, 2 for your team now, to Jameis Winston, pointing at him, shoving him, letting him know that my time's over. It is now your time. Then Sean Payton came out and said, I got 4 years, $140 million for Taysom Hill, who's my fucking Steve Young, okay? So although Drew Brees is anointing Jameis Winston as the next guy, I also have somebody in mind as well. Jameis Winston signs a contract to potentially be the face of the New Orleans Saints going forward. Remember, whenever he left the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after leading the NFL in interceptions and yards and touchdowns, he was saying that he was going to the Harvard of quarterbacking whenever he went to the New Orleans Saints. Then he just said a couple of days ago that he got more reps in the first 3 days of training camp than he had all last year because he wasn't able to do anything. Asked about what Drew Brees taught him, Jameis Winston comes out with another fucking heater. Jameis Winston said, I learned from Drew Brees, you don't have to be Batman all the time. You can be Bruce Wayne.
Wow. Holy shit.
That tweet comes from Jeremy Fowler, ESPN, with this type of thought and this type of knowledge now, knowing that you can take the costume off, you can take the hockey pads off, you can get off the bike, you can stop doing the stuff with Catwoman, and you can be that billionaire guy in the penthouse with 5 wives. Bruce Wayne, living your best life. You can be a human too, is what Drew Brees told Jameis Winston. Do you think this will propel Jameis Winston to MVP, AJ Hawk?
I mean, that was the last 5 minutes, yeah. That was a beautiful little monologue. You just got confused how it even started or where you were going with it.
I felt real good about it, by the way.
I don't even understand. So you did actually explain the tweet. I was going to ask you to explain exactly what you think that meant. So you think that's what Drew meant? Like, hey, What does he mean? You can be a good guy and a great player at the same time? What are you talking about?
I think he's saying you don't always have to be. I think Superman potentially is maybe the reference we were going for here. You can also be Dean Cain.
Take the cape off.
Of course, Clark Kent. Yep, same thing.
Dean Cain, he's
Hallmark movies.
Dean was a great actor.
Yeah,
Still is.
Some people think of him as Superman.
He was.
Still is.
He was the Riley's Guinness.
Believe it or not.
Believe it or not
guy.
Yeah, he was
really
Ripley's
good
Believe
at
It or
it.
Not guy. He would always walk in. We got. Anyways, I think he was potentially talking about Superman and Dean Cain in the phone booth, maybe. You can be a human as well as being a Superman.
You sure?
But I think it's the same thing. You know what I mean? You don't always have to be superhero at all times in every situation.
Oh, I thought it was more along the lines of because Bruce Wayne was a huge asshole in public and stuff like that. So I thought maybe he was saying hey, Jameis, you don't have to be very affable and lovable and funny like you are. You can be an asshole in public I am if you want.
You think Drew Brees was teaching that to Jameis Winston? You think that's what that quote meant right there?
Well, that's the way I read it because
Absolutely.
Bruce Wayne in public, if you watch the movies, he's kind of a prick. He's an asshole.
Oh, you weren't saying that about Bruce Wayne.
Well, I'm saying, it kind of.
At the start of every practice, do they still start it with, this one's for Drew?
No, okay. All right. Well, listen, you were going to chime in, I thought, there in a minute? No, you're not.
I wasn't going to chime in, but to Ty's point, I thought he meant more so hey, you can be Batman on the field, and then you can go rob the NFLPA and take $10 million out of the player's pocket.
We'll know if Jameis starts throwing slushies into someone's face. Then
Come on.
Smoothie, sorry.
Connor's memory and callback is just off the charts.
Oh, is it really making you proud out there, huh? Connor's like your seventh kid at this point, huh? You look like you're watching your son out here grow on the microphone. This is unbelievable.
I wish. I've never had a horse at my birthday party, and I figured maybe AJ would put that together for me, but I guess not.
I'm excited about that. That's going to be a great time. Can't wait to raise some money. It's going to be a fantastic
There's no real horses there, Connor.
What? See, I didn't fully understand the situation, so I was trying to explain it. I thought maybe there was.
Oh, no.
I'm not on a horse.
No.
Oh, me?
Why
not?
A fake horse. You're on a fake horse, yeah.
Oh, okay, doing the bull dance.
Oh,
there you
one of those horses.
That type of horse?
Yep.
Oh, I thought I was actually on a pony this weekend. I was real excited about it. I was trying to figure.
You were in a dressage.
I thought I was. Yeah, I thought I was. I thought I was doing that. I was trying to figure out how to get a selfie stick so I can get a good zoomed out version of me on this goddamn pony. You know what I mean? But turns out it's just a handy pony. I didn't know that. All right, let's go to 5 Energy phone lines. Do you think Jameis Winston's going to be worth a fuck or not? He's Bruce Wayne and Batman now, not just Batman.
I wasn't really sure, and now that I've seen this and you present all this information, absolutely MVP. What are the odds for him to get MVP?
I don't know if they have him out there.
They do. They definitely do.
Did he bring the dog to camp?
What's that?
Excuse me?
Did he bring the dog to camp? Is he in between drills? Is the dog still snapping at him?
Oh, okay, you're talking about the towel drill. Yeah, hey, listen, Jameis has left no stone unturned when it comes to the preparing to be a potential starter in the NFL again. No drill left behind is what I like to call Jameis Winston's offseason program. He will do whatever, however, to get better. I don't know if it's Bruce or Batman, but I do know that there is a Swiss Army knife man who's also competing for the same position out of beautiful Mormonville. And Taysom Hill might be the best he's ever been as well.
Jameis says plus 6,000. Those are the same odds as Cam, Tua, Joe Burrow, and Derek Carr.
Ooh, what?
What's Mac Jones?
Sprinkle some money there, Diggs.
Taysom is plus 18,000.
Hey, look at you getting a little. You doing a little futures gambling lingo there, you.
There's no way that you ever do anything futures because I'm sure your brain cannot comprehend something that doesn't get paid out until February.
Let me tell you how I had come. You're right. I did have to fight through that for a long time because
I know exactly what happens. I'll let you finish, but I know you all of a sudden February 10th hits. You're like, oh hey Sam. Oh, I lost 50K. Oh, I made 100K. Like that's exactly what happens, bro.
No, I mean Sam knows basically every dollar that's won or lost because I talk about it publicly on here so much. So if I do need a potential. As soon as Carson Wentz walked into this goddamn office and then he walked out of the office, I was like,
how could you not?
So that was a very me move in the moment, riding the emotion of what's happening right now. I put the bet in. But you're right, staring at it every single day, it's hard not to just cash that thing out and be like, this money is much better served in this particular ping pong game in Russia this morning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's hard not to do it, I will say. I've been battling against it, so I appreciate you acknowledging that and noticing. What's going on?
If I do recall, though, the NFL futures bets that you had last year damn near were perfect, I thought.
Were they much better than maybe Mr. Future Forethought himself, AJ Hawks?
Cowboys in the Super Bowl?
I mean, come on now. You guys know Dak got hurt. If Tom Brady got hurt, would you have picked the Bucs still?
Well, that's the thing about Tom Brady, you see.
You're right. He doesn't get hurt.
Well, he did that one time, and then Matt Castle got paid $700 million to go somewhere else.
That's right.
Thank you.
Hey, did Phil get his coffee stuff from Guerrero or someone else?
I think he got his own coffeewellness something, and I didn't promote it, so I did kind of miss a little bit, but I think he has a full foundation around the coffee and everything. Like he really attributed that to like changing his entire life. That coffee in itself.
His body has changed. I mean, he's a lot like more muscular now than he was when he was younger.
I'm not a coffee guy, but people love it. Like people that drink coffee fucking love coffee. I wish I was in that community. Like I really
It's
wish.
like everything about it. It's everything around it. You know, it's a way to hang out with people. People love like making fancy coffee and all that stuff. It's like the process of doing it, which I would assume is very similar sometimes to you. And at times, if you want to take some vitamins, like preparing that. It's like coffee.
Yeah, it's like cigars, I was going to say as well. I think you were talking about my potential vitamin usage, but cigar is probably the same thing. The coffee community seems like a cool one, though, because I love brunch. Like, I'm a big brunch guy.
Yes.
It's my favorite meal.
It's best.
Feels like coffee people enjoy vitamins as well. It seems like the coffee and vitamins seem to go well together. But for whatever reason, my palate just can't. Cafe con leche, hey.
Ooh. Shout out.
Hey, shout out. And with the new espresso machine, I guess we can potentially make it. So I might be dabbling in there. But Phil attributing his entire success here at this age to the coffee made me think middle of the conversation, like, all right, I'm gonna fucking get into coffee. I drink the hell out of these. I drink a lot of green teas. I have to be able to get in coffee. It's going to make me better than ever. It said it on the fucking picture right behind him.
If you're not a coffee guy yet, you will never be a coffee
What's
guy.
that all about?
I mean, I've kind of just come to that realization as well. Like, I would like to start drinking coffee and get into it a little bit more, but it's just never going to happen.
Just do it. If you want to do it, you got to do it.
Yeah,
I think I
but-
started when I was 30.
Ty can't drink the coffee because he will literally poop his pants.
I will. Yeah.
Pat, I think you just need to find the right taste. You need to find the mixers and what's going to do it for you.
No mixers. No, you can't. That's coffee's good. If you drink black coffee, there's a lot of benefits. When you get in problems is you start dumping milk and sugar and garbage. That's not
flavor.
Coffee. That tastes terrible.
Yeah, that's flavor.
garbage.
And listen, I get
cows,
it. Hey,
dude.
obviously, you order your coffee black, AJ.
No, because I'm
Hey, don't you even think about putting a goddamn Splendor?
Get that sugar out of there.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Are you done?
He doesn't drink milk? Like, your kid's bones are going to break in half.
Hey, no, listen, it ain't about the milk whenever you're drinking your fucking coffee. You need that thing black, and you let them steam that thing to its hottest. Give me a couple shots in that thing, too, MCDC style.
Black eyes,
man. Yeah, AJ Hawk, yeah.
Let me know when you're done.
Hot coffee.
I mean, we got a little bit out of control, but obviously you drink your coffee black. We knew that.
What I was trying to say was if you want to, I forced myself to drink coffee. I always loved the smell of it, and I forced myself to like it. But I started drinking black coffee, so I don't like coffee any different way. I don't like flavored coffee. I don't like anything in it. If you start drinking coffee that way, I think that's the coffee you like, and you can drink unlimited amounts.
You're telling me that when you started drinking coffee, you microdosed yourself into beating this just like you did with your shellfish addiction or allergy or whatever.
Very similar, yeah. Same with cigars. I like the smell of the secondhand smoke of cigars, so I eventually smoked cigars until I liked them.
See, I like the smell of coffee as well, but you did it black with nothing else in it, strictly so you could tell people that they were less than
Never.
you.
Yeah.
For doing
No, you think I have a problem ordering like some latte frappuccino situation? No, I don't have an issue doing that, but I don't. That's not coffee to me.
Well, see, you did all that though just so you could do this right here.
Boom. No.
Yeah, because you've seen it in the past.
I didn't bring up coffee. I wasn't even going to let you know that I drink coffee.
Get off your soapbox.
I knew you drank coffee, and by the way, I knew you drank coffee black. How about it? We all did. You're AJ fucking Hawk, dude. obviously, there was no guessing on whether or not he put Splenda or steamed milk.
If I liked that flavor and it was good for me, I would do that.
No, you forced yourself not to like that flavor. You just said it.
I just know the flavor. What I started with is what I like. Yeah.
I'm gonna get in coffee black, by the way, because I do want to be a little bit more like AJ Hawk on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be like Phil. No, put that like ginger root extract and resveratrol like Phil does.
Hey, you know
Not
a lot.
ginger.
Hey, I don't think we dive into you like your nutrition knowledge and fitness knowledge. Legit. Are you a supplement? Do you take supplements on a daily basis?
I mean, I do, not much. I never was huge into them. I don't like protein shakes. Never drank those though.
So you take those pills. Do any of them do anything that you're legally allowed to buy? Because I always assumed if I can go buy it somewhere, it's probably not going to do anything for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of the stuff doesn't do anything. But no, I mean, the one thing I've been on for a long time is like super like high grade fish oils. I think those are helpful.
Oh, do you get the ones that are coated in mint too, so you don't burp up that fishy taste?
No, those are not the high quality ones.
Oh, see, here we go.
Of course.
All right,
There
we
we
got to
go.
call you back because your connection is obviously terrible.
They're coming for me. The big coffee's coming for me.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You need to get that connection, get a little pot of coffee down there. Get that thing back up and running. Don't put any flavor into that thing, though. All right, we'll call you back, AJ.
You don't put any sugar in that green tea, do you?
Splenda. 4 of them.
Oh, good. Happy cancer.
Jeez. We
What's
got to
your
call you back.
deal
I think your
here?
connection's bad. There's no way you just said what you just said there. He's not the first person who's told that to me, but god damn, it tastes so good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's not sugar.
Hey, I think tea is just like coffee. Same thing. Same community.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, I like this. I can get into liking coffee, I think, but
for sure.
There's so many flavors out there. He did that on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's AJ Hawk.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I mean, like, if you're gonna drink coffee, don't you want it to taste good? That
Does
makes
taste
no
good.
sense.
Last year I
you
did
just
get
said
it.
you hated it.
We have to get to a break. AJ is back.
I like it now.
Yeah, but then you said you don't like the flavor of the other stuff. It's like, well, you never tried the other stuff.
I have tried it because I try all the time. People want to get me to try. I'm like, cool, I'd like a different drink, and it's just not very good.
Imagine AJ walking in with some big fruit coffee. It would be all like some literally shit hanging out of it.
Umbrellas.
With all the colors like on the side of the cup. There was something I ordered at Starbucks that literally had like 7 colors. It had the entire rainbow color.
Smiley
With
faces.
Things hanging off the top of it. And they're like, yeah, it's coffee. I was like, is it? I don't know.
Are you sure?
I only bought it strictly for the optics of it. But I started chugging coffee a little bit before meetings. Put ice in it and chug it, but I always hated the flavor.
To me, coffee's like beer. Like when you have your first beer, you're not going to like it, but you're going to like what it does to you, and you just got to get over that. Same with coffee.
All right, we're back in 4 minutes. That was profound from the birthday boy. Happy birthday. Hope this year around the sun is even better, pal. We'll see you guys in 4 minutes. I think I've realized this year with the conversations, you do seem to be a rather normal human, which is very interesting, right? I assume for a lot of people to hear. AJ said, no, you are not a normal human. But because all the stories about you before this year, to be honest, a lot of people, the way they believed is you were the smug king almost is what the thing about it. And then getting a chance to chat with you, it's like, well, that's not the case at all. How is that like something you have to focus on? I assume it gets hard whenever you're hanging out with, Scott Stapp is hanging Aaron Rodgers jerseys up in his goddamn office. That has to be pretty weird.
Well, look, I think that's an interesting thing to talk about. I think a lot of times, people have said things about me, and it's been the same few people, and that's been kind of the prevailing story or thing that's reflected on. I think for me, I talk a lot about the work I did on myself. It was nice, and it wasn't intentional. Like, I didn't sign the show to have, and you guys know, we've talked about this off air, but there wasn't some agenda doing this. It was fucking talk to Pat and AJ every week. Yeah, sounds pretty awesome.
It has been, by the way.
It sounds amazing. But what it's allowed me to do is, I think, silence all the douchebags out there who were, talking for me and making themselves more relevant by using my name or running with stories that were not really based in any type of fact. And look, I've grown as a person. I've said things and done things that I wish I'd handled a little better. But this was a great, natural, authentic, whatever, whether it was 15 minutes at the stadium or 45 minutes to just bullshit and have a conversation. If you're a friend of mine, if you know me, I think this is about as normal as interaction you're going to see from me. It's not a lot of BS. You're not going to hear cliches and garbage. I'm going to, shoot from the hip mostly. tell you as much as I feel comfortable telling. I feel like I've been as honest as I could be. I've told you guys a lot of fun stuff. It's fun for me because then I don't have to like maybe rehash it on a Wednesday, or people get to see a different side of you that maybe they didn't even know was there or didn't think was there. And it's been fun for me. I really have. I've appreciated every single week we've done these. And like I said, the best part is there was no agenda. There was no plan. I mean, even us, like, we didn't know we were going to go like 10 minutes or 15 minutes or an hour. Like, we just started fucking talking, right? And then this came out, and it's been a lot of fun.
I actually would have made more money the day I signed than my whole contract with Indy.
Oh, dude. Why did you decide to turn down a lot of money to come back to Indianapolis for the year?
True story, no bull. I prayed about it. By 3 o'clock, I'm signing somewhere. And then 2:55, I got on the phone with Chris. Like, are we going to get this done? Like, how can we get this done? He came up with a number, and I'm like, all right, it's all right. Well, I guess it's meant for me to go to this next team. As soon as I closed his message, Ursay texted me. I said, there go my sign right there. When he texted me, that's when we got it done. When he texted me, we got it done. Hey, did you see my eyes tweet yesterday?
Yeah, is that when you got the text from Ursay?
No, that was the text that I was almost gone.
Yeah, where are we going to go?
Hey.
Baltimore. You don't have to tell us, obviously, but I do believe Baltimore was in on something.
Yeah.
And then also the quarterback.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
This is the Pat McAfee Show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. We thank you for taking the time to seek out this small regional show that streams internationally. Here's Pat and the boys.
Now that the world might be opening back up, so many new thrills are on the horizon. And whether you've been in a relationship for years or just getting started or excited to get back out there and meet new people, when the moment comes, you want to be ready.
Hell yeah.
Roman Ready. With Roman, you can get a free online evaluation and ongoing care for erectile dysfunction, all from the comfort and privacy of your own home. Roman Ready equals confidence. The confidence that you know you can rise to the occasion in the moment. We're looking at the Summer of Love 2021 version, and Roman wants to make sure you can participate in your own way, whether that be as a single person or a couple who would still rather stay in with each other. A U.S. licensed healthcare professional will work with you to find the best treatment plan. If medication is appropriate, it ships to you free with 2 days shipping. The whole process is straightforward, convenient, and discreet. Go to GetRoman.com/McAfee today, and if you're prescribed, get 50% off your first month of ED treatment. Wow. It's almost half.
Holy shit.
It is.
It's a great deal.
It is half.
It
Almost, yeah.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah. 50% off your first month of ED treatment. If you go to GetRoman.com/McAfee, make sure you're ready to have confidence and control this summer. Roman Ready. Oh, yeah. Hey, Roman Men's Health Brand not only can help you with erectile dysfunction, by the way, don't be embarrassed if you have that. Just go to GetRoman.com/McAfee and let's go ahead and take care of that. But also, they can make you last longer in bed. How about allergies?
Yeah.
Of course. Hair,
skin. I mean, they got shit for everything. Go to GetRoman.com/McAfee today. And if you're prescribed, you have to get prescribed for the ED. You'll get 50% off your first month of ED treatment. And then there's everything else there to be the best you possible. Shout out to Roman. Shout out to you. Welcome back. AJ Hawk, how you doing, pal?
Oh, doing good. Good job. I'm sorry. I think last read I didn't let you finish that one, so I'm glad we got it in.
Yeah, and I had to do a little edit remix to that read too.
Yeah,
have to.
Because at the beginning it said the world is opening back up, but the point that you brought to the table was very valid, and you said, actually, is it? And so I had to say the world is potentially opening back up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it depends where you're at. I think it depends where you're at. There are some places, I guess, are all the way back.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
And then there's some places that are all the way back to lockdown, too. Like,
And some places that are now requiring proof of vaccination, which was not happening before. Carry around that card.
That's a hippie.
The NFL has an update on, I think the hip was between the doctor. I don't know. This just made its way into my timeline, so I assume
What if you are a doctor?
you can't talk to anybody about anything. It's crazy. HIPAA, people don't talk about that with HIPAA. I mean, doctors can't talk to anybody.
No.
That's a real shame. You go to school for all that time, can't have a fucking conversation. HIPAA, dude, shut the fuck up. Hey, excuse me, miss. I don't want to hear it, okay? Don't tell me any information I don't need to know about any of your patients, please. HIPAA, dude.
Come on.
Don't want to break the law.
That's tough, huh? They can't even get a little loose-lipped at all.
No, not even at
Can't talk to
Starbucks.
other doctors. The only people who would even know, what they're kind of going through.
What about at night when they're laying down and they're next to their significant other? They can't say, like, you should have seen the fucking shit I seen today. They
No.
can't say that?
No.
HIPAA?
Immediately.
The significant
Yep.
That's HIPAA, dude.
That's right.
People live and die by HIPAA. It gets thrown out there for a lot of different reasons.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, shout out to HIPAA, by the way.
Shout out.
But there has to be some, on the other side, some ramifications.
Yeah.
Can't talk to anybody.
Zeke last year ran into that problem when the season was starting.
Yeah, because doctors were leaking the information. Can't have it. That's the problem. Everybody else, I don't think so. The vaccine thing, fascinating, because the NFL has reported that 27 of their teams are 85+% vaccinated. 90% of the players in the NFL are fully vaccinated or have had at least one shot. 9 teams are above 95%. And then an extra 18 are above 85%. So here we go. There was a lot of conversation about this in chatter. This is via NFL PR guy, Brian McCarthy. He is the NFL PR, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, at NFL PR guy is a massive Twitter handle. Everything you put out there is going to be like, hey, okay, here we go. This is the NFL speaking. Brian McCarthy and Roger Goodell are the speakers of the league. Brian McCarthy says we're at least 90% mark for all the players, 85% here, 90% there. Things are looking up and going forward because that was a massive conversation piece. Ron Rivera wasn't happy. Zimmer wasn't happy. Owners weren't happy. A lot of people weren't happy. Protocols are getting put into place. Potential $70 million fines are putting in there. Seems like it worked. A lot of the league is now vaccinated. I'm sure this won't be talked about for years and years by the players that are involved in this thing, AJ.
Hey, well, wasn't the follow-up tweet to this people saying, 90% are vaccinated, the other 10% are the Vikings? Are they a team that's known to have a bunch of unvaccinated guys for some reason?
I don't know. Zimmer is not happy, though.
Yeah, right. And Kirk, obviously, we know where he stands on it.
Oh, if I die, I die.
Yeah.
That is
right. So that's why the tweet's out there. Okay, they must have multiple guys that have commented publicly, right?
Well, I think there was a couple teams that everybody was talking about that were below the 50% mark, and I think the Vikings were one, the Colts were another one.
Yeah.
Washington was very low. I think there was a couple teams, and I don't think we've even heard a lot of the massive names that were potentially against the vaccination that have been kind of floating around in the background there. But I guess all the protocols are working there for the NFL, and I'd assume the rest of the world is watching on. Other businesses are watching along, too, to see what they're going to have to do. I guess there's a lot of businesses that are opening back up that have a lot of protocols that are similar to what the NFL is putting into place. And this is going to be a conversation that people are going to get pissed off about, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years. So happy to be a part of it. Here we go. We're just kind of getting into it. Let's go ahead and hear what we hear out
Should
there.
be awesome. But yeah, that's what Zimmer in his press conference was just saying. Like, I don't understand it because these guys saw how hard things were last year. And then this year it's even, more pronounced, like having to have guys charter separate flights. He's like, I want all the masks to be done. I want people to be able to be in meetings with their teammates. I want guys to be able to coach. He's on his last legs with it.
Well, the classic there is the competitive advantage that is probably getting laid out by every coach, because all the coaches care about, by the way, is coaching and winning. All they do is coach, and if they win, they get paid more money. Okay, so that is what an NFL coach is, coaching and winning. So whenever one particular player, 2 particular players, 5 particular players in their group are somehow, because of the protocols, have to be treated differently than everybody else, the coaches are going to be pissed. Like, that is just the people that are going to be mad about it. The competitive disadvantage for those coaches that can't hands-on, can't do the same exact thing. Once that probably started getting pitched in team meeting rooms and everything like that, I think that's probably when a lot of people are probably like, all right, fuck it, I'll do it, even if they didn't want to. You know what I mean? I think because all anybody knows is if you win, you make more money, you do better, everything's better. And that seems like from Zimmer and then from other people around the NFL, that became $70 million potentially getting fined and $50,000 fines and $14,000 fines and 140 tests versus 14 tests. But also, like, every other team's going to be able to fucking work all day and we can't. So I think that is kind of the personal touch that was added into the motivation as well, which I think a lot of other companies that are going to try to institute the same thing as the NFL is going to have to find as well.
Well, do we know through this, training camp hasn't been open very long. I haven't paid attention. Are there any guys that have been pulled out because of protocol that testing positive?
I do not believe so. Lamar Jackson,
right? Yeah.
Lamar Jackson, remember, because then he got it second time since Thanksgiving or something like that. But it hasn't really been that big of a storyline in the NFL yet. Now, obviously, we've heard it in other sports still, and COVID's still making an appearance in places, and the World Games are completely different because of COVID and his fraternity brothers, Delta, Lambda, Delta Plus, kind of doing their thing over there in Tokyo. But I don't think it's really hit the NFL thus far yet, has it?
There's been a couple like smaller things that you've seen, like where it's like a tight end room won't be like they're all being ruled out because of COVID-19 protocols. The entire Minnesota Vikings quarterback room was ruled out, and they had to sign a guy off the street to practice 1 or 2 days, I believe, at least.
Like the Broncos, and that was probably when Zimmer was not thrilled.
Yeah. Well, and they're only, if they're vaccinated, they're only testing once a week too. So there's naturally going to be a lot less positive results.
Mike Zimmer looking in the mirror. So you're telling me Aaron Rodgers is flying around fucking Hawaii all offseason, but he shows up at training camp and they're able to work with the quarterback. We have no quarterbacks. I'm fucking done with it. Goes right to the press conference.
Done with everybody. He's done with everybody.
I can't understand how we're not fucking doing this. All right, we couldn't even practice today. Hey, you know what they're doing in Green Bay? They got Aaron Rodgers slinging the rock, teaching Randall Cobb staying at his house new plays that they can work on all by themselves. That's who we got to try to be. MCDC, he's doing up downs with the goddamn quarterback up there. You know, we got no quarterbacks. That's the football coach thinking about this entire thing. Like, I don't get it. What are we? Are we not trying to win? Is basically that entire mentality. But there are guys, and that is the greatness of a locker room, an NFL locker room. But in this particular case, could also be a potential detriment to this type of thing. Is there's a lot of different thoughts, a lot of different ideals, a lot of different lives that have lived, and different reasoning for things. In the vaccine thing, I didn't even really think about it until it started becoming an issue. I'm like, oh, this could be a big problem with how some guys feel, you know? And I guess it's getting handled. I guess it's getting settled, which the NFL has to be happy about.
Oh, they have to be pumped at like over 90% of the league totally has at least one shot, right?
Yeah, so what's that mean? That means like a herd immunity if they all just stay in their buildings and run around with each other, right? Isn't that what everybody's saying? I heard some scientists say that. Herd immunity is happening.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going on with teams, right? Because if there are still 5 teams that are below...
Well, the thing about it is that they would have to just stay around each other, I think. They wouldn't be able to go back out into society that does not have the 85-90% thing or whatever. So if they somehow were able to biodome this thing... If Roger Goodell was able to biodome this thing and they're above 90% vaccination, it wouldn't matter because then... I don't know enough, but this has made its way into my timeline. Might have been Dr. Florio. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that means herd immunity happening in the NFL if they were to go to biodome there.
I don't know. And we kind of mentioned it briefly. How hard would it be if your quarterback wasn't vaccinated? Like, he just needs to be omnipresent, and now if he's not, he can't be. Like,
what did AQ say? AQ told us, I don't know if it was on the show or not, but last year, whenever he went to the Buccaneers, it was training camp, late in training camp, so he didn't do the entire offseason Zoom thing, and he kind of experienced it. He said he was scared to death that he might be the one that gives Tom Brady COVID. He said he was just sitting in his house. His kids would come back from school and he'd be like, I'm not going to be the one that gives Tom Brady fucking COVID. Like so that's the type of thing though, because if you lose your quarterback 14, 17 days or whatever, your season's much different all of a sudden. Yeah. It is a much different world, but this COVID thing is going to be a problem for a long time. And by problem, I mean there's going to be a lot of disagreeing. There's going to be a lot of yelling. There's going to be a lot of debates. And hopefully in the end of this thing, we will be able to dance on all of it as a society that came together and decided that the fraternity of COVID Delta Lambda Plus ain't gonna fucking beat us no more.
Hell no.
Hell no.
What if just like we have Wednesday afternoon football again though?
No. Can't do it. No, forfeit. It'll be forfeit this year.
Yeah, but it's a forfeit until what happens if it's like 4 games and the NFL's like, well, we didn't have forfeit any games last year and now Lambda's coming through and we get a forfeit a bunch again. No way. We can't do that. No way. They'll change that thing up real quick.
Yeah. Especially if it's both teams. Like what happens if both teams have COVID?
It never was.
Well, and all you need...
True.
It never was.
It never was.
Yeah, but this is Lambda. Lambda's different. You don't know Lambda.
You're right.
And let alone Delta Plus. That thing took fucking PEDs, dude. Delta was moving faster than anybody in the history, and then all of a sudden they took PEDs. It's Delta Plus now. This thing has fucking reincarnated itself before the first thing's even dead yet. I don't know what's going on out there.
I don't know. I saw a chart.
Really?
think if you wear 18 masks, you're safe from the lambda, they're saying.
So in Chicago, we did walk by somebody who had 3 masks on.
Weapon.
And I felt so bad. So I did.
Let him know. Hey, you're good. Don't worry.
You think they got it? You think they understood what you said?
That person, I was wearing a tank top. If you could imagine what that person potentially looked like with 3 masks on, the type of person who were, they were not making eye contact with me at all.
They probably thought you wanted to fight them. Like, hey, 3 mask wear.
No,
Let's fight.
I don't think 3 mask wearer ever has the idea of combat happening. You know what I mean? Like I think they're in a much different world. But that would be funny if they took that as like a flashing light with the car thing.
Oh shit!
Hey, I want to fucking race, dude. Pink
If you're
slips.
wearing 3 masks, you should get the Chronicles of Riddick sunglasses too, so it doesn't get through your eyeballs.
Well, that was debunked, the eyeball thing.
The lambda, though.
You're right. Lambda's beating the
Back
vaccine.
to square one.
Wow,
Who knows?
Are you mask shaming?
What?
The triple mask, I think a lot of us think, okay, what's going on here? What?
Especially the mask with the face
Should be
shields. I mean, that one.
Maybe it should be 4. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But when I saw the triple masker walk by me in Chicago with
How'd
my
you
wife-
see all 3? All did it go like small, medium, big?
Yeah.
Or, I guess the other way around.
Plus
maybe?
the band.
It was like one of those things where you open it up and there's a little baby in there, and then you open that up and there's another little baby in there.
dolls?
Yeah,
There it
there we
is.
go. There, it was kind of like that. It felt like, and I just saw them stacked up on each other on the side of it. You know what I mean? I checked out his hockey mask, and that thing was wild. So, I mean, it was sticking out. He had the bottom one was the biggest one, and then they got smaller as it went
Okay.
out.
Where his ears getting ripped off his head almost?
The
or-
one went around, and then the 2 went on
nice.
the ear.
Oh,
But he
so-
did
I mean,
have
just-
a hat on.
Oh, so a fool. You're saying is who you saw.
He's safer than I was, but I let him know that, hey,
Did my part.
but he was judging me, I think. I think he
I go
would.
buy that guy. Get him like an astronaut's helmet if he wants to be truly safe.
Hey, Bubble Boy, not a bad movie. That poor kid, didn't really get to live that
Is that
much.
John Travolta?
No,
Dude,
what are you fucking Gyllenhaal?
Look him up. He's in a Bubble Boy movie. Look up Travolta Bubble Boy. Google it, somebody.
Oh, this is going to be something.
Yeah,
Yeah, you should not Google.
No. It's an older. I think it's from the '80s. There's a Bubble Boy movie. Either John Travolta's
Yeah,
the
that's
Bubble
right.
Boy, or he comes to visit
The
somebody.
boy in the plastic bubble.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Whoops.
Thought for sure you're getting people to Google something that,
Despicable.
When I sent in the Twisties into the group and everybody
Yeah.
Googled Twisties too, the first couple things that popped up. Was this before Michael? Yeah, this was before the movie Michael. What a movie, by the way.
Classic.
Yeah. How about Phenomenon? There's another one.
Another classic.
Yeah.
Travolta used to have the juice.
He did. He had
He used to.
He had an airport at his house. Literally parking his planes at his.
Still does.
Yeah, he's got.
I mean, he did that Gotti movie, and you cannot
Oh, stop.
say that was
So
a good,
good.
film. Oh, no, AJ, you're lying.
We don't have enough time to
It was a
dive
good
into
biopic.
it.
Pat, you watched it?
Yeah, well, the thing about it is, this is just like that most recent Alien documentary. I feel like I've followed Gotti's life so closely that everything is just kind of like a recycle of the information. Accumulation of the information already that I know, and I don't really learn anything new. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was kind of like this new Alien doc that came out that was awesome. I guess it was really cool. But as somebody who has followed the Alien situation rather closely, there was nothing really that new in there, but it was a great encompassing. Like the Gotti movie, I think is a good movie to learn about Gotti's life pretty quick if you want to. You're going to have to fight through some bad scenes and some bad potential, timing and editing, but you're going to learn a lot.
Good information, terrible acting is what you're saying.
No. Let's go to the phones. I mean,
You can say it.
Not Travolta.
You can say it.
Not
It's
Travolta.
It's not like Travolta's a good guy.
Yeah, but that's not a movie I watched like 5 times, like Downside.
Who said that?
He did.
I did.
What happened?
What do you have against Travolta?
What did he do?
What do you mean? It's a laundry list. You had until 8 o'clock tonight. We can go through it if you want.
Is that Eastern or Central?
Central.
Oh, really? That's 9.
Worse than your best friend Damon?
First of
All
all,
right, let's get to the phones.
I do not even know Matt Damon exists anymore. He's dead to me. Forever. And don't even get me started on the new Buccaneers fan, Juan Cena, and what he's doing up there, too.
John Cena.
John Cena. That guy.
John
He's a
Cena
Bucs-
was on
he's a
first
Bucs
take
fan?
this morning.
Oh, yeah.
John Cena was on first take this morning wearing a full mask. Okay, it was hard to take serious. It was very difficult to take serious, but I appreciate his commitment to.
Wait, was he serious? I saw like a screenshot. Was he
Dead
serious?
serious.
Dead serious. They were asking him
Okay,
questions.
all right.
It was tough.
He's the best.
He's the best. They put him in a tough position. All right, they had him go out there, and he wasn't just talking about.
Wait, did he acknowledge that I'm wearing a giant weird mask?
A couple times, but it was not enough, I don't think, because they were asking him about sports, and they were asking him about, Roman Reigns. Here's my photo. I was just I think he handled it well, but boy, that was tough. They put him in a tough spot. I think this movie's going to be so good. Though.
Well, I think you could argue he put himself in a tough spot. He hasn't taken the goddamn costume off in 172 hours. So I don't know.
I thought this was ESPN, not state-sponsored TV.
All right. This show's ending, thank God. I did not expect to see John Cena this morning wearing what he was wearing on First Take, though.
What's he promoting? Is that 9 Fast?
Suicide Squad.
9 Fast.
Is that a Marvel thing?
It's a DC thing, actually. I think that's why it was such a big deal that it got onto a Disney platform, which maybe we should have a little bit more respect for those of us who are so dialed into the fucking superhero community. All right, Nick? Now, with that being said, I don't know if that appearance on First Take made anybody want to watch the movie.
What? You're not going to go watch it now?
I mean, I am going to watch it. I knew it was coming out. John Cena's in it. He makes bangers like Ferdinand and stuff like that. So I was obviously going to watch that, but they put him in an interesting
There's a couple
spot.
questions that Sacho asked that did make me want to see the movie.
Okay, Sacho is a good reporter. And Max and Charlie did a fantastic job through that entire thing. But it was startling to look over and see, what is John Cena doing right now?
Hell?
But he's got Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. Chris Mad Dog Mad Dog Unleashed is on the other side of this 6-minute break. I promise his show will be better than ours. We're back manana with maybe a good one. Cheers. Guys, I mean, John Cena didn't deserve what you said.
What?
Hey, listen.
Cena turned his back.
He's actually very funny in the trailer for it. So
For First Take?
no.
For
Hey,
Suicide
Diggs,
Squad.
Diggs, can you relay what questions you enjoyed that made you want to watch this movie and John Cena's answers possibly?
Yeah, let's ask Diggs about Sacho.
CT's been acting up a lot lately, AJ. I can't remember exactly what the questions were, but I was like, oh, that just kind of makes me feel good. And makes me
Oh,
want to see
yeah,
it.
he asked him about playing like
bully.
an asshole or something.
Oh,
like that.
yeah, that was. He
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
he said, hey, John, you're such a nice guy in real life. How do you do it when you have to play a bad guy on the screen?
Yeah, and a lot of people thought
Acting.
in this, acting. That is acting. You know what I mean? That would have to be the case, especially for John Cena, who's just such a good guy, out there. But,
Yeah.
But like they did him because I saw pictures from the movie where he does not have the mask on all the time. He just has the
But
costume. on.
do you think they told him to do it? Like, I
No,
don't
no,
think
no,
his
no,
PR person
no,
did?
no, no.
Yeah, see,
no,
this
no,
is
no,
the
no,
thing.
no.
It feels like he's doing things to himself here.
No, he got
Yeah.
forced to do this.
And listen,
got
I
us
get it.
talking about the movie.
He loves acting. Okay, he loves being in these movies. The other night at the premiere, guess what? Everyone's dressed to the nines, looking great in their suits and their dresses. Cena looks like an asshole. He's got this thing on. I mean, I get it. He's proud of the character. He's happy about the movie, but
Is that true?
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
1000% true. Only one in costume there.
They
need to
said
see that.
They said that the
need to see
director
that, AJ.
and the people were trying to get the costume back, and he was the only one that was like, "Nah, I'm not fucking giving this thing back. This is mine forever now."
All right, well, congrats to Cena. Hey,
Good for him. I would too if I was in it. I would wear that.
Saw the picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, fool, clown.
no. This is trying to sell a movie here. It's a
This
good
is how you
movie.
sell a movie, guys. Take notes.
I agree. Let's go to the 5 hour.
Got us to talk about it. For
I'll tell
10
you how
minutes.
not to sell a movie.
We did actually watch. I will watch it though because Cena's in it. Mostly because I'm going to have to refer to it probably.
It is
whenever.
Who else?
good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
getting great reviews.
What it sounds like, by the way, what he was saying about it, which was interesting because he was saying some pretty profound things. While
Well,
he was giving like real answers to stuff, and it was just like incredibly. I mean, I guess people say that
It
about
was
me in
like
tank
when,
top all the time. Though.
Hey,
yeah, but you don't have a mask on.
I mean,
it's similar though, Pat. Don't you think? Doesn't it remind you of like when Ariel would come on here and he starts getting serious and he's still wearing his mask?
yeah, and I said like, hey, can you please take off the mask because I think you're saying some actual answer here, and it could be good to actually refer to at some point. But Cena's like, no, this is the character. But I did see him without a mask in the movie, and his fade right now is
good.
very
Clean.
good. The mask Cena, I did not expect to see this morning. I lost.
That's awesome though. You get to interact with him and stuff backstage and everything. You see him.
I don't know. The summer of Cena seems to be a busy one. I don't know how much he and I really.
I mean, it's cool. He's on SmackDown though. He's not on Raw, right?
He's been on both. He has come to SmackDown though and challenged the head of the table, which is a bad idea.
Foolish.
He will switch back and forth.
Well, Raw, yeah, I guess.
Just in general.
Yeah, he does go back to Raw. The Summer of Cena has been a massive lift. He said he's in a month in between filming movies, so it just timed up perfectly in the WWE universe is his family, he said. So he's backing at it. I think we got, what, until SummerSlam? How many weeks? Probably 3?
Yeah, 3. 22nd, correct?
Hey, listen to this, man. Hey, I'm in Indianapolis, then I'm in Tampa, okay? Then I'm in Ohio, then I'm in Indy, then I'm in Tulsa, and then I'm in Phoenix, and then I'm in Las Vegas, and all the while in between every single stop, I'm back in Indianapolis. I mean, I'm on the road right now, man. All right, I'm everywhere right now, man. This WWE life is crazy. I'm getting to see cities that, like Tulsa, Oklahoma. I would have never fucking went to Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's great. Can't wait to see what it's like.
Yeah.
Fort Worth, Texas. Never in a million years would have went to Fort Worth, Texas. Have to go back to Fort Worth, Texas.
Stockyards.
I don't know how. Football season is going to be tough, I think.
It's hectic scheduling.
But we'll have
fortunately...
Yeah, there's games.
There's 2
Fortunately
games
for you,
during the
though,
week.
like, you and Vince get to fly to these events private. The other guys don't, usually.
Yeah, I mean, Vince pays for his plane. I pay for mine. If Vince paid for my plane, there could be some frustrations, I think, from a lot of people.
Does Vince ever let any wrestlers come, ride with him?
So I do believe that the corporate plane is used by people. I don't know. We've parked at the same FBO as them a couple of different times, and I've seen numerous people getting on it and off it that weren't Vince McMahon. So I don't know if that's just like they're getting shit onto the plane or not. I try not to pay attention much, but
it's a massive plane, so I hope other people are getting on that.
It's fucking big. It is a big plane. That thing's beautiful.
Take for sure gets to use it, right?
Take probably has his own, right? I don't know.
Brock?
Like Brock, that came out the internet. He has his own. In that business, I think you would have to. Like a lot of the musicians, that get older and do a lot of. I think they all have planes. I've seen
wrestlers they don't make that crazy money until they're like the champ. They're on top for a while. I feel like where they could do that.
That's what I'm saying though. Like whenever you become you get a bus. Like normally, I think the normal go-to is get a bus that's awesome. I think I've never been on one, but there's always buses back there. It seems like that's a big deal. It's a rock star style. It's like a band style life, I think. So once you start really moving merch and everything, you become a superstar. You probably start buying stuff.
Well, we kind of did it when we went to WrestleMania, too. I mean, if you had a bus, all those cities are within, reasonable driving distance. That'd be much better than, staying in a different hotel every night, driving or having to fly. Like, that would be the way to do it.
I've looked into some of those buses. I think there's some really fucking nice ones.
They're amazing. Yeah. Are you kidding me? I watched YouTube videos of them. I mean, you can spend tons of... They're unbelievable. Yeah, I don't want to own one. I want someone to let me borrow theirs, and then they can clean it and take care of it and pay for it.
Classic AJ Hawk there, who likes his coffee black, by the way. Don't put sugar or flavor into that. That is what he's going to do. Have you seen the school
flavored coffee's gross.
Okay, cool. I'm going to try it out. I'm going to get into it. I'm going to go coffee black just like my hero, AJ Hawk. But have you seen the ones where they flip school buses? This is what I'm kind of leaning into, because all those buses, when you're driving, terrible. Yeah. Very, very tight. It's not until you park and you open it up. There's school buses that people flip into full homes almost, and it's much more open, I think. I think there's a lot more.
Are they wider? Are school buses wider than those big Prevost buses?
So I think the Prevost buses have so much shit potentially on the side, so it eats it. You only have a lane, right? You only have a certain amount of inches inside a lane, a standard lane you're allowed to be. It's how you use that space, and I feel like a lot of these people that customize these school buses, it seems like they have much more space in their thing. I think my wife has a friend, her and her husband, I think they bought a bus, flipped that thing, and they're just like gypsies.
Just going.
Like they have Wi-Fi in there, and they just pick up and leave, plug in places. They're just living around in this thing. It's I think the school bus might be the next move for us on the grind.
Well, in the RV too, it's only when you park it that you really can take advantage. Like when you're driving, it kind of does stink because of it's so compact.
In the school bus, I don't know how we add that. We'll have to put on an extendo somewhere, maybe off the back end.
Well, and the semi was also a great idea.
Yeah, with the pulling of the fucking trailer. There's a golfer. There's a golfer that has
Steve Elkington. Yeah,
Steve Elkington has maybe
his is on hydraulics and comes up and expands out and
it's 2 floors.
Yeah, 2 floors. Yeah,
it's 2 floors.
Will Smith's famous trailer that he has when he shoots movies is 2 floors.
I've never seen King Richard's trailer. It's worthy because every movie he puts out is a fucking smash.
Oh yeah,
he's about to play himself as Serena. And Venus's father in that movie, he's probably going to win an Oscar for playing himself.
That trailer did look good.
He's absolutely not playing himself. This would be one of the first times he is not playing himself. He's actually bought into the character and become a character. And
Tell the truth.
I've said my piece on you can't just have a fake, shitty African accent and win an Oscar. It takes a little bit more than that.
And actually, the reason why Suicide Squad's
Wait, did he win an Oscar?
getting such
No.
good reviews is because they replaced Will Smith with Idris Elba. Is the only change really in the whole movie. So
Also, but we're not here to pile on Will. I've said my piece with Will. He after the entanglement situation, he's been through a lot, so I didn't want to pile on anymore.
That trailer
I've moved on.
that trailer. Thank you for that. Way to be an adult. That was very nice of you, Frank. Thank you for saying
Thank
that.
you. We got bigger fish to fry.
Well, we're still going to talk about Will. Though. That movie looks really good.
Really
It
good.
does.
Oh, it actually looks good. I haven't seen the trailer.
Yeah.
I saw a
Legit.
screenshot.
It's what's that movie? Pursuit of Happiness. Will. You know what I mean? Like I think there's like the emotional, driven dad type role. Which, by the way, love every Will Smith movie.
Are you just saying that because he has a mustache in both of these?
Yeah, and he looks a little disheveled. Yeah.
Similar.
And it sounds like he's doing a little coaching to the kid. Yeah. Yeah. Seems like it's going to be the same movie. And that movie, by the way, awesome.
So good.
How about him with that briefcase, dude? Hey, the big winner of the giveaway from 2 weeks ago for 5 free pairs of bird dogs, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, shit.
Oh, wow.
Here we go.
We got a winner.
Here we go.
We should save this for tomorrow on Sirius.
Yep.
True.
Hey, run this back tomorrow on Sirius because it might be a Sirius listener at 1.
Yep. Got it. In
Put it in the stack of papers. You'll find it.
No. That wouldn't make sense. It's not
Yeah,
been
yeah.
read.
And we'll probably print out another one.
Yeah.
Please. I care about trees, but there is an allotment of paper that's already out there, and if we don't use it, somebody will.
No, yeah, those
too
trees have already been cut down. They're in the office right now.
There's
So
nothing we
you're
can do
not
about
saving
it.
any more.
I am so sorry. I do like to look. I saved my paper.
Yeah. You're not throwing it out, wasting it.
I recycle it. This thing's holding this table down. What is everybody else doing with their papers? Throwing it away. Not me. I'm big.
Burn
paper.
it. Burn it to heat your house.
No.
I did tell you that one time my electricity went out on a vacation. First day I left for a 10-day vacation. I came back. It was 14 degrees inside my house. And there was no power for at least the weekend because everybody was off work. And I was sleeping in a sleeping bag in front of a fireplace in my bedroom. And I said, this is it. This is life. I fucking made it. Fucking throwing paper into it. I mean, it's a wild existence.
That's how Mitt lives now.
Yeah, man, if you ever need anything, dude, don't touch this paper. All right? This thing's going to probably go on to the next.
Has to.
It's probably going to go to the next one.
I mean, it's gonna topple over at some point.
Could be Encyclopedia 1 as well.
Also, B-Blade, right? I mean, this is
Yeah.
That's why.
this is the original.
King James, yeah.
Did you say Elkington had a semi with a hot tub in it?
There it is.
I'm sure there's a hot tub.
Wait,
in
this
it.
is Steve Elkington's?
Yes.
That's what Will Smith looks like, a similar type thing.
What was Brett Michaels' one like, AJ?
A lot of Steelers gear in there, guys.
Hell yeah.
AJ, I have to say something you said off air because it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
Hold on, you gotta let me know. I don't know exactly what you're gonna say.
Anytime I walk into somebody's house or bus or something, I'm just going to walk around and see everything they fucking got going on, he said. So he walked onto Brett Michaels' bus and just automatically just started snooping around, he said.
Jeez.
Well, I've been a fan of RVs and buses my whole life, so yeah, I instantly made sure I did a scan of the whole thing.
He's snooping through his medicine cabinets and
Yeah,
stuff.
have some respect.
I mean, I would. Yeah. I mean, hey, it's out there. If I get invited on, I assume that's to explore the whole thing.
Well, I got kicked off of a bus at like 2, 3 a.m. in Arkansas.
What? No.
that's because
By
you were
who?
outshining, outclassing, and the bus.
Wait,
owner.
John Daly kicked you off his bus?
Nope.
No, Jake Owen did, though, because I took his guitar and I said, you ever heard this? And I mean, it was a long
You
day.
fucking shredded, and Jake was like,
Yeah.
I can't be showed up on my own bus.
I don't remember. Was it boom, 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 boom,
No, I
boom,
think it was,
boom? Was that the Batman?
Yeah, it was Batman. You played Batman.
I was not at the stage to play Seven Nation Army.
That's when you should have been Bruce Wayne instead of Batman, okay?
Wait, so he just asked you, he's like, all right, buddy.
Yeah, we had been together for like 12 hours at that point, and it was just like, it wasn't him, it was just people. Like, all right, I think we're going to go to bed. And it just so happened to happen after I got the guitar. I was like, well, we did too much. All right, I'll save that for next time. He had a nice bus.
Very nice.
He had,
Custom, head to toe.
he had a very nice bus.
Yeah.
He, by the way, could you imagine just singing really well, being that cool, and also that handsome or whatever? That has to be pretty tough.
He's a good golfer,
Pretty
right?
sweet.
Yeah, he actually is, I think. I think he actually
Yeah.
is a good golfer. Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. He fucking crushed after. I thought there was no chance he was going to be able to perform after that golf. You remember seeing him come off that golf course?
He couldn't talk.
It was unbelievable. I'm like, wow, Jake Owen we got after it out there. Like, got after it. And then he was like, all right, I got to go. I got a concert tonight in like 2 hours or whatever. I'm like, how the fuck is this guy? And he crushed it. He absolutely, I think he took a shower. He was a completely different person up there. And then afterwards, he won brave. I was like, I earned a lot of respect from me, old Jake Owen, that particular day. I was like, there's no way in hell this guy. And he went up there, no shoes, middle of Arkansas, just fucking slaughtered it in front of Hell's Angels or whatever that stuff.
Damn.
I mean, it was amazing.
Ryan Mallett.
Ryan Mallett was there. We had a good time with Ryan. Also, the strongest man in Arkansas.
Wow. Wait, was this the PGA event you did?
No, this was John Daly did a fundraiser over there, and the first time I talked to him, I said, I'll donate to your thing or whatever, and he was like, really? And I was like, yeah, and I think I get $50,000 or something like that. I was a little bit in the moment, just like I did with Carson Wentz futures bet. I was a little in the moment. And then I just stuck with it. And he was like, come on out. Come out and golf in this thing. We did. It was like his course. We stayed at his house.
Well, you're leaving out that you presented an award for the donation of the year or whatever.
I was presented an award in Arkansas. Now, I wasn't allowed in the bar that night for the benefit concert that was happening when I had a tank top on. I wasn't allowed in there because Hell's Angels comes in with no sleeves on. I want to tell them, hey, just quick heads up, I'm not Hell's Angels. I don't think anybody...
Well, you do have a Harley, though.
I do, yeah. I had to go buy a seafoam green Jake Owen shirt. They escorted me in to buy some concert merch to go back out, to put that shirt on to come back in. It was awesome.
Where's that plaque, by the way, that John gave you? It's not in here, I don't think.
It's, yeah.
I mean, yeah, you drop $50K. I imagine that you're going to get an award for a donor. They're going to try to get you back the next year.
They didn't. It didn't work out. I wanted to. It was a good time out there.
Great time.
Nick stayed the night there. Nick slept there a couple times. I slept there a couple times. I mean, it was...
John cooked me chicken. Fried chicken.
Wow.
That was beer chicken.
Hey, he does not fuck around with that chocolate milk either. Like, he will drink an entire thing of chocolate milk. That is not a game. That is not a joke. That is not a joke at all.
It'd be so full if you drank all that chocolate milk. It's
delicious. Bro, then he'll...
Yeah, the cigarettes, I think, open up a little space.
He will smoke. I was sitting next to him having a couple beers. He might have smoked 7 packs of cigarettes right next to me without even stopping, then just got up, went and manned the grill, cooked some food, got some chocolate milk. Then they're in a dry county. Obviously, John Daly's from a dry county, which makes no sense at all. So every Miller Lite in town is in his garage, basically, on the other side. It was... What a time. It was wild. But Jake Owen, impressive. Very impressive performance out of him.
Good to hear that, some of these new, younger country people are still... That's what country is, They live hard, they play hard. They're not sitting there getting adjusted by a chiropractor and resting their voice all day. They're having fun.
So who was that? That was a shot at somebody, and I don't know the reference.
I don't know no specific person, but I feel think of country music, with Willie and all those old school guys. They had to go out and tour. Didn't Willie have a whole couple tours because he owed millions in taxes? They're outlaws. I think it's cool when some of that mixes in, and it's still some of that around. I'm not saying he's an outlaw, but at least he's living hard.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, dude.
Live hard, play hard.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Let's go to Debo over there in Columbus. This guy's been on 3 times now at this point.
Yeah,
Dude, it's called stink or are they good?
I don't know. I forget about Debo.
Mitt continues to let him in, so Mitt obviously is giving him a pass.
Loves him.
Let's go to the 5-Hour Energy phone line.
Definitely remembers.
Remember, you go to 5hourenergy.com and use code McAfee to receive 10% off your order. Debo, I'm going to be honest, since I've noticed now that you've become a regular at this point, I'm excited to see where we go here. Debo in Columbus. OH, Debo!
It's still going to say go blue, Pat, but happy day. So how you doing?
Oh, yeah, Michigan. I do remember that. Debo's an outlaw, so AJ should like Debo. He's in Columbus, Ohio, loves Michigan. What do you want to talk about, Debo?
Well, first of all, I got to say I love my job, and our company just closed on a property. We're opening up an office down in Fountain Square. Shout out Indianapolis. Here we come.
Oh, Fountain Square, up and coming area.
Shout out.
It has been for some time now. Pretty cool little spot down there. I think you'll enjoy yourself. Shout out to Indianapolis and to Fountain Square. I almost bought property there 10 years ago.
Really?
11 years ago, yeah.
The 2 Chicks, 1 Hammer lived there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bingo. Good Bones, I think, is the name of the actual name or show now.
Yes, it is.
Yep. Okay. They live down there. They were.
What?
What was that, Tito? What was the name of the
2 Chicks, 1 Hammer?
Now, so I don't. It did involve something.
2 chicks and a hammer.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Pretty close.
They are a massive part of the area that Debo's company going in to completely flipping that entire area. They've done great work there, but they were telling me it was on the up and up. And it did not look like that 11, 12 years ago. And now it looks vastly different and it's very nice. So that's goes back to AJ's point about me thinking about the future. There's no way I'm going to do that. I can't see it if it's not right here. I can't do it. I apologize. Welcome to the city, Debo. What's going on, pal?
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot, man. The other thing you'll remember about me, I know you don't like impressions that suck, but I did a good one whenever I gave you my first name, and I said, I am my boy, Damon. So got to crack you up there. But
I do remember that. Debo with a good call. Listen,
me.
Debo with a good call.
No, he got me.
That was a good call. Debo was a good
Why
call.
do you have to do that?
That was a fake laugh.
No,
Debo
it
did not
wasn't.
deserve
Yeah,
it.
it was.
No, it wasn't.
You John Bon Jovi you buried yesterday.
No, I love
Big
John
time.
Bon. I
That was
wasn't burying him. It was
disgusting.
a tribute.
How's it going?
John Bon Jovi, John Bon Jovi, John Bon Jovi, John Bon Jovi.
You think John Bon Jovi has seen that and just going, God damn it, nothing I've done in this life has been worth it.
No,
Either
John
that or
Bon
he-
doesn't worry.
He absolutely loves it.
Yeah.
One of the two.
Shout out to Debo. Let's go to Alex in Iowa on the 5-hour energy phone line. What's going on, Alex?
What's up, boys? How we doing? Happy Wednesday.
Hey, happy Wednesday to you too, Alex. What do you want to talk about, man?
All right, so let's start in the NFL and how the Vikings are the sleeper to win the NFC North.
Okay,
not.
nice.
What
They
do
don't have
you boys
quarterbacks at practice right now. What do you want to? What do you think? What do you want to talk about? Why do you think so? Just because a couple years ago they had great success, you think they're going to find that back with Dalvin Cook being healthy?
Well, Dalvin Cook, Cook's been solid, not great. I think maybe there may be turmoil in Green Bay, but probably not. I think we may make the playoffs and then hit the field goal post. You know how we do.
All right, I like that from Alex in Iowa. He's a Vikings fan. He likes the Vikings. I think a lot of people in that Target Center I was in Minnesota last week, they're big Vikings fans as well. What if they go on a run? Remember, just 2 years removed from beating the Saints in New Orleans in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And now everybody knows the MVP of Green Bay, and Aaron's still there. So the reality is they got little to no shot because if Aaron's playing football, he's going to win the division. But maybe the Vikings go on a cool run. Maybe they go on a run.
They could definitely make the playoffs.
Good for them for
maybe
being optimistic.
They're going to go as far as Dalvin Cook takes them.
Yeah,
Yeah, good for them.
Good
Hey,
for them.
everybody is right now. This feels like, isn't this like when any new actor is doing a press junket? Like, oh, this is the greatest film I've ever done. I love this one. It's amazing. Oh, what about the 4 flops before it? Well, this thing is amazing. It's the best thing I've ever done. Like, that's what we are right now with fans in their team.
People do seem to buy into the hype near football season a lot more than the entire offseason. It seems like there are stages and phases of this thing. After the season, you're mad, you hate the team unless your team won. Then you think they stink. Then moves are made. Why are we doing that? Then right before the season, just like Joe Thomas said he had to do for his entire career, we buy in and we see a road to victory. We see how our team could potentially get some wins, make it into the dance now that it's extended even more, and maybe win a goddamn Lombardi. Now is the time for hope. Now is the time for dreams, and we're just a few weeks away from those all getting shattered for about half the league immediately.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Colts.
All right. Colts still got the dreams. We're back. We're just
Vikings
rested.
most likely win week 1 if they're at the Bengals, and I'm seeing a lot of reports on the internet that Joey B does not look comfortable.
What?
Doesn't
Like
look
with his
comfortable.
injury or just
Yeah.
with football?
Yeah, he does not look comfortable in the pocket with the injury. Blah, a bunch of
Jeremy Roch at Fox 19. Jeremy says,
I know Jeremy. Hey, I dealt with Jeremy when I was in Cincy. He's a good guy.
Jeremy Roch. Roch.
I don't think that's correct, but you can keep going.
Jeremy Roch says, by the way, shout out to Jeremy Roch.
Yeah.
Shout out.
That baby
Tyler
rocks.
Boyd today on Joe Burrow's progress. I think he's a little iffy on his knee, but it's hard to tell. I think he's ready to go, but he doesn't want to do too much. Just one quote, but Tom TB. Okay, Tyler Boyd. Jesus Christ. It's earlier in the tweet back. Jeremy Roch ain't going to lead you astray. Perfectly described what JB, Joey Burrow, looks like right now. Hashtag Bengals at Fox 19. This happens after injuries, by the way. The mental hurdle of trusting your knee again is very difficult when no matter what the injury is. This is his first time in the NFL having to do so. I'm not 100% sure how you get over it, how you get past it, but a lot of guys experience it. Let's assume Joe Burrow will get back to form, especially when the games matter because he's that super uber competitive guy. I just hope we don't see him die again. That's what I hope.
Well, he's coming off an ACL reconstruction, right?
Yep.
And it's a very common thing when people come back from ACLs. Talk to any guy that's had it. They like the biggest thing once you're the trainers and everybody tells you you've gone through all the progressions. Like, hey, you're good. You can run. You can cut just like normal. Like, talk to any guy. Like, man, trusting myself to go and make that first cut is like the biggest hurdle to get over. And then it's like, okay, I did it here by myself with the trainers watching. Now I got to do this in practice. And once you kind of get over those mental hurdles, I think then people really take the next step.
Zach Taylor says there's no cause for panic as Joe Burrow and the Bengals offense struggle at training camp, says around the NFL's Twitter account. So, but you're 100% right. And it's not just ACL. Whenever I got a couple of the surgeries done to my knee, and it's much smaller than the ACL, there was plenty of time where I said, so I'm not going to hurt this thing. I'm not going to hurt this thing if I do this, because you're feeling discomfort, you're feeling a little bit of pain, and you do not want to do or go through what you just went through again. So you literally are asking, like, you're telling me if I go, I feel it. They're like, yeah, you're going to feel it, but there's no more potential injury to come. That's a tough thing to get through. It really is. It is not an easy thing, because whenever you're getting back to it, for me, whenever I was kicking, when I would start going, I would start feeling like the same type of pain. And I'm like, there's no way that this is right. They're like, no, you got to get through that. Like, you're just kind of, you're going to be okay. That's a tough thing to do. And it might be a different situation than what we have gone through and what I've gone through, but this is very normal. And I don't think people should be that alarmed by it. But I don't love that he has to walk across 2 highways to get to the practice facility.
It's similar to like normal people. Like if we eat Taco Bell, like we know it's going to hurt. But then a couple weeks later, we go to Taco Bell and we know it's going to hurt again, but we do it again.
Yeah, well, it would be like...
Exact same thing. Yep.
Thank you.
It would be like, I think actually the best way to describe the Taco Bell situation is, while you are demolishing a toilet, you're going to have somebody tell you that you will get through this. Okay, this is not going to happen forever. I think that is much more similar to what the athletic trainers told me whenever I was punting. It was like, I know this isn't great right now, but you're going to be okay. Nothing can get worse than what it is right now.
So for me, that's like when I eat an edible.
Yeah. And somebody has to tell you, like, hey, you're going to come back down to earth. Don't worry. You're going to come back down to earth, which, by the way, always be that friend if your friends are trying edibles for the first time. Just remind them that this is not your new normal. Okay, this is just for a couple hours. You're going to come back down to earth. Don't you worry about it. That is what I have learned, a great way to bring somebody back down from a panic attack. You know what I mean? Like, oh, yeah, you shouldn't have eaten that much. No, for sure. You'll come back down maybe tomorrow though. Like
Time to close your eyes.
Go to bed. Yeah, we need to get you an Ambien as well. I know you probably don't want to be mixing things right now, but we need to put you to bed right now. Okay, you're going to come out of it. You'll wake up much better.
I like how you're pulling them down, like you're pulling down David Blaine, his little balloons.
Well, this is where Ty normally is.
Oh yeah, more like Mitt. Okay, I don't very often get to that point. Like I said, revisionist history. You'll love to say that I've been there, but we all know that Mitt's the one who occasionally.
I'll tell you, sometimes with Ty, you just gotta come on, dude. Come on, man. Welcome back down, dude. Good to see you. How are you? And then we'll go to a commercial break, and all of a sudden, whoop, Jesus. Yo, come on back down, dude. Come on. Come on, man. All right. You're running
Keep you on your toes.
He's running 3-a-days right now. It's unbelievable.
Tie a rock to his foot.
I'm joking. Ty doesn't deserve that, and I hope his family knows that's not exactly true. But there has been a couple times where I've looked over and I've had to, Ty, we all right over there?
Come back,
Ty has done the same to me, though, by the way. So there is.
Is Mitt around? Is he in the office?
Yeah, I mean, he's back there. He's got to executive produce Hammered Down, the hottest gambling show on the internet right now. So he's got a lot going on in his life, yeah.
I haven't seen him. He hasn't come on mic in the last 4 or 5 times.
He's been angry lately.
He's live every day, 15 minutes after the show ends, AJ Hawk. He has his own fucking show.
Yeah, come on.
When I've been on, Mitt usually jumps in and clarifies things that, like, the younger kids, how you can, he educates me.
Well, I will tell you about Mitt. Mitt was pitching out in this morning's conversation. He was recalling stuff that people were saying. He was pitching. He was getting more active. Mitt's really starting to, I think, find his group. He might find his seat in the room.
That'd be sweet.
We're gonna have to have a higher ceiling, obviously, when we move into the Coliseum.
True.
So that he can have a little bit more space up there. Yeah. Mitt's really finding his own.
Mitt from the Raptors.
Mitt is really finding his own.
Is he under like the tutelage of Foxy and Zeke teaching him like all the technical stuff?
Sure. Yeah, that's probably it, right? Foxy, I think you do, and Zeke, I think you guys do look out for the old Mitt, right? Don't
Yeah,
you?
we tried to. He kind of just picked it all up himself, though. That's why I appreciate it.
Yeah, this is a big figure it the fuck out company.
Right. Mitt also was ruthlessly burying Zito yesterday
Oh,
for no reason.
Oh my God.
We had no idea.
Was he doing body shame?
Zito
big
big
time.
time.
Yeah.
Zito wanted
big
to
time.
do dressage.
Hey,
Mitt
hey,
said,
hey, Mitt.
To clarify, none of that is true.
Oh, it's all
Zito-
true. It is all true.
He said he
Zito
couldn't
looks
ride
fair
a
enough.
horse.
He said
and
Zito would break the
Foxy
horse.
and Zito and Ty all helped me out, taught me everything that I know. College shouldn't teach me much.
I
So,
actually went to
thank you guys.
we're very proud of you, man.
Is this on air?
No more fish.
Yeah, we are currently on air, so this
No,
is...
no. Was Mitt burying Zeke on it?
Yeah, it's on the pod, I think, right? It was on the pod.
A lot of fat shaming, yeah.
Yeah, well, Zito, you don't deserve that, by
I
the
ordered
way.
a sale today.
I want to let you know, Zito, as somebody, though, who has gone to a horse riding, attaboy, and also probably some other things, but as somebody who went to like a pay to ride a horse thing and has been eyeballed by the person running it and called for a horse out of a different stable for me to get on.
Well, that happened to be in Houston, or in Fort Worth.
Yeah, that was what we were referring to.
Yeah.
If a 400-pound bull couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
Oh, come on!
Could a horse? was
What
the-
if they would have called
Weak
for
bull,
a
man.
bull?
Get a new bull.
Ferdinand?
Ferdinand,
This massive bull comes out.
That's what happened to me. I was in Mexico, and it was a horse riding experience or something like that. And they had all these lame ass looking ponies. And as I got there, I was much larger than everybody else that was there. And I think it was 260, 270 Pat at the time, so I was pretty large, you know. And literally, they called for a horse for me. I've never been a part of something so awesome, so awkward, and uncomfortable at the same time. It was in front of the entire group while everybody was on their pony. Another horse gets called up. And it wasn't because I was like a celebrity. It was just obviously a much bigger horse.
Yeah, which...
Like when it turned the corner, the horse was like, oh, okay, I got fucking Debo. I think Gordo, I forget is that Fat?
That is fat in Spanish, yes. Yeah.
I think that was the horse's name. Was Gordo or whatever.
I just looked it up. It's called the 20% rule.
What's that mean?
So 20% of the horse they could carry, so if it's weight.
oh, only 20%. Figured they'd be stronger.
Those fucking mules get out there and they do.
Oh, yeah, camels, too.
Like, what's the average horse weigh?
Let's find out.
What's an Inuit weigh?
840 pounds to 2,000 pounds. That's a big difference. That might be a calf.
Horse.
What's a small horse?
Weighs
No, it says
2,000
840 to 2,200. I mean, you get a Clydesdale, it's probably 2,200.
Hey, Gordo came around. I think it was a 4-H fucking Clydesdale.
Yeah, that was probably awesome, though.
Yeah. I mean, it was
Towering
cool.
over everyone else riding their little ponies.
It turns out, though, the big pony for the fat people and bigger people was a little bit more of an outlaw. A little bit more, was not necessarily on the trails every single day. So we took a couple remixes, I think, potentially, and there was a couple moments with, entire situations. But, Zito, you didn't deserve it. I will talk to Mitt about that. We will fine him and not pay him for the next couple of
Here we go, finally.
Congrats, Mitt.
No more vitamins, Mitt.
I'm not saying that. I think
his life will fall apart.
I don't
if
want him
we
to
do
jump
that.
off the building.
Yeah.
Hammer Dahn's in about 15 minutes. Okay, youtube.com/Hammer Dahn. They are incredibly hot right now. We've been saying that for days. So if they end up getting cold, know that we've all gotten a chance to enjoy this magical run. And as it continues to go, we will all profit off of the big brains of the Hammer Dahn boys. AJ, anything to say about tomorrow? Oh, we're going to give away something today.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the bird dogs. Well, we got the bird dogs giving away stuff, so we're good.
Yeah, you're right, AJ. I'm sorry. Anything, though, what do you want us to maybe work on for tomorrow?
Well, I'm curious to see if you play golf tomorrow morning. I know you're supposed to play today. I'm sure some unforeseen thing came up in your schedule. And you
Day's
couldn't
not
make
over.
It, but,
Yeah, could go play at 9.
Yeah, I won't. But I was thinking about playing this morning. Woke up to go to the bathroom about 5:30, sent a text off to a couple people saying, I'm about to go fucking golf, boys. How about it? Back-to-back days. I'm going to get out there. AJ Hawk's 20 million's mine. Then I looked at the bed, and we did get a better bed than what I had been sleeping on for a long time. Well, in comparison to the twin air mattress I had been sleeping on, shout out to Sleep Number beds being the worst beds I have ever seen in my life. The fact that they pawn that off as one bed when it is clearly 2 twin air mattresses, like you're sleeping and camping outside. And that was my life. You actually fall into a hole in between the two. I'm sure there's some benefit somewhere. I could not find one. All right. I could not find one at all. So this new bed, 5:30, went to the bathroom. I thought about your 20 million. I thought about the flop shot that Phil Mickelson taught me. Weight on the front foot, open that thing out, line it inside left heel, and just swing and watch that son of a bitch pop up. I thought about it, mastering that and becoming a scratch golfer. I looked at the bed. My wife was sleeping. A couple animals were in there. Yeah. I decided to go back in and I fell right back asleep. And tomorrow, I scheduled a tea time for tomorrow morning.
Here we go.
Good. I'm going to go every other day.
There we go.
Smart.
Perfect.
Smart.
That's why I decided as I was jumping back into the bed. I was like, every other day.
That's the
Come on,
key.
don't
You don't want
get
to wear
worn
yourself out.
Yeah.
Bingo. Can't get worn out of golf already. Especially with $20 million on the line.
31 years, too. You know.
Yeah, can't go every day. I got to go every other day.
Exactly.
Oh, no.
I fucking took a spill.
Who was that?
Well, it's fucking me because your fucking pillow is bullying mine off here.
Well, that pillow is bigger than all the other ones, though, because of the jaw.
Yeah, you know, he's got a little round in there, I guess, because he has to for a pillow. But if this was more accurate, it'd be more shield-like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Home plate.
Yeah, it would be like home plate. Exactly.
Yeah.
Home plate face.
Yeah.
Do you look at other people's jawlines and you go, that's a good jawline?
Maybe. I don't know.
No, he does. He walks
you
around. Terrible.
Yeah, I do. I mean,
Zac Efron, remember he immediately he noticed that.
He transformed his face. That's why.
Well, no, he got a good jawline, right? Then he get a good. He said, "Give me the
I mean,
AJ Hawk." I
You
think.
can pull it up. You can pull it side by side. He looks very different.
Did he not say, "Give me the AJ Hawk"? Though that's a massive compliment. That
What does that mean?
I'm sorry he got his life together, AJ, and stopped doing drugs and booze and all the time.
Ah, jeez Louise.
That was years ago. He quit that years ago. This jaw just came out of nowhere.
All right.
All right, Zac Efron, we're fans over here, and thank
I'm
you.
a huge fan. Huge fan of Zac Efron. The
Sounds
dude's
like it.
shredded all the time, year round.
I didn't know him until I met him, and then I ended up on People magazine cover. Okay,
Boom.
right behind Matt Overton, who was on the cover of People magazine. That was awesome. He actually tweeted about that the other day. He didn't do anything. He just dyed it a little bit. Chewed some more gum.
I think he's.
Excuse me?
That's a fake picture.
No, he chewed some more gum.
Chewing gum.
Yeah.
It is not a fake picture.
Yeah, it is. I almost got influenced into buying this ball thing that you chew on. It's like bubble gum, but it's not, and your jaw gets absolutely defined. That's all I was told.
Chewing
you
a
just
stress
chew gum?
ball.
Yeah, it's like what's that?
What when you just chew gum?
Well, I don't want the extra calories. Obviously, I'm working on my body.
You're chewing on plastic.
Yeah, but I'm getting that jaw right there. I think he's the leading candidate for who did the jaw thing. That's what happened.
I think he's playing Jay Leno in a biopic.
That's what I thought.
All right. All right, we got to get out of here. I don't know what's true and what's not true anymore, and that's why this show fucking stinks. We'll be back tomorrow. All right, happy everybody got a good laugh. Zac Efron did not deserve that.
Love you, Zach. I'm a big fan. I legit am a fan of Zac Efron.
See, this is what I'm talking
That's
about.
a lie.
We started the show like this.
Really,
now we're
I
ending the
honestly
show.
am.
He was incredible in The Greatest Showman.
It was.
Was he?
No.
Was he in it?
You didn't see The Greatest Showman?
I heard the song.
It's a great.
It was in my workout playlist there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because the lead up is pretty cool. But I kind of got over it. I was also working out to Hamilton there for a little bit.
Oh, nice.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm young, scrappy, and hungry or something like
Hell
that.
yeah.
In the room where it happened.
Well, I was there a couple times. All right. I was in a room where George Washington found Jesus Christ.
Hell yeah.
And Ty Schmidt got married there.
Boom.
Boom. I was in a room where it happened. Shaped the entire country.
Yeah.
That one pew that you got married in.
I know.
It's insane.
Crazy.
Battle plans.
We almost missed the entire thing, by the way. We showed up very close to showtime there. Almost
What do you mean that one pew? Did Ty come out and get in like the fourth row with his wife and exchange rings?
You think George Washington was sitting in the fourth pew at his church?
So at the front of this church, instead of an altar, they just had a pew and had a picture of George Washington?
Well,
kind of, actually. And the pew is actually little box suites.
yeah.
They're like little boxes.
Like a penalty box.
Never seen it before.
It is like you got to open a penalty box. You get into it. It's very comfortable. There's
Good cushions.
It's your books in front of you. There are good cushions.
Is this for COVID?
No.
No, I think George Washington was this. Is how
Old time church, yeah.
Oh, okay.
George Washington, big social distance guy.
You ever been to church, dude?
I have not been to a church with penalty boxes for the seating.
Oh, you hate Jesus.
Wow.
All right, that's the show. See you tomorrow.